Today to try our cinnamon raisin biscuits or enjoy the festive Holly Jolly Sparkler.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks.
Hey, Andy Morris here. Join me along with my co-host on The Drive, presented by Hardees, weekdays at 5 p.m. on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Cleveland and Bradley County's local sports show, weekdays at 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no style. Got a thirst for killing. Think about it.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland, presented by Hardees on this warm Tuesday, December 23rd. Hard to believe that we're this close to Christmas, and I'm over here in shorts and a T-shirt just enjoying this weather. Again, I'm Andy Morris with Jacob Mason, Jim Gum, and we've got a special guest with us today to top off our year, because a little bit later on we're going to do pretty much our year in review, the lead up to the next round, the quarterfinal round of the college football playoff. But we've got Stephen Shelton from Cleveland Insurance in the building with us. Stephen, glad you could join us today.
Hey, glad to be here. Glad to be a part of the drive here today. It's
been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while, but hey, it's a great time of year, end of the year, a lot of bowl games, a lot of things happening. We're getting around to getting close to March Madness and baseball season.
Now, you mentioned March Madness, one of your favorite times of the year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that whole season of you've got Major League Baseball starting, you've got college basketball, which I think is the greatest tournament in the world. You've got all that together. Just the whole, it's starting to become spring. Days are getting longer. It's just a great time of life.
Yeah, I love March Madness. I mean, and I know they're going to expand it at some point, but I wish they wouldn't. I love it. I just do. I'm okay with the 8 teams that play in Dayton that opening weekend, Tuesday, Wednesday night. But man, that Thursday and Friday, there's not a better day in the calendar than that Thursday and Friday of March Madness.
If they expand it, Jim, I mean, maybe Notre Dame basketball playing it after getting beat by that community college.
I was waiting on it, man. I was waiting on it.
I was getting my shots in fast and early. In case you guys asked me to leave, I just want to go ahead and get them in.
Stephen came ready to go. So,
oh, Lord.
So you go ahead and explain what you're talking about with Notre Dame basketball.
They lost the community college up there at Indiana or something, I don't know, but Purdue Community College for the blind or something. So, and I sent you and Jacob, some guy tweeted and said, "Oh, great! Now I guess they're not going to go to the NIT. They're going to decline their invitation to the NIT. Boycott the NIT. Yes, I'm very sorry."
Well, listen, I appreciate the timing of that message, because I was fighting the traffic in all the parking lots and stuff, and I get a message update like Stephen Shelton has texted you and Jacob Mason. And I was thinking, goodness gracious, what is this about? And I play it over my car, and so I just kind of grinned, and I was like, you know what? I'm glad Shelton sent that to me today. I needed to smile for a minute.
I love Jacob's initial, just boom, don't get him started. I mean, it was like automatic.
It's like a snowball.
By the way,
snowballs down
which is, don't be confused with snow bunnies, right?
Yes.
No, it's different.
We're not talking about Michigan yet. Okay. We're not talking about Michigan yet.
By the way, you want to hear a glutton for punishment story? My wife, I'm gonna go home for lunch today. She's at home, and she goes, "Hey, would you mind picking up a couple things before you come home?" Sure, honey. So I go to Walmart, of all places. I don't think I've ever parked as far away from the doors as I did today. Luckily, it's a nice day, so
that's why I avoided Walmart today.
But my goodness, it is so packed in there. And, of course, the self-checkout, Lord, there are people that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, two Georgia football players.
And and you're waiting in line and waiting in line. And it's just, oh my gosh, guys, I was so thrilled to get out.
Were
of
you
there.
in Athens by chance?
I should have.
If you were, you
Was it a?
Well, I was talking about Athens, Georgia, because
you would have been locked up in Clark County
Yes,
jail.
yes.
Was it a former Florida State quarterback? Have some crab legs? I mean, I'm just asking. So.
Hey, so I don't know if you guys. I'm glad you said that, Sheldon. So I don't know how big you are on TikTok. Like, I'm kind of getting used to it. Like, Rogers used to be like, dude, why are you not on TikTok? Jacob was like, dude, you got to get on TikTok. So finally, I've caved in and I've kind of dove in head first. Jameis Winston posted a video of him posted up in the subway in New York against a post, watching the subway train go by, and it's playing like the music that they dub in all these videos, and it says, back in college, you're going to be tempted to take some crab legs. Don't do it. And like, he's kind of poking fun at himself, which anyone that knows
he's great on there.
Jameis Winston, like he's born again Christian and living right and wanting to influence the next generation of football players, and he's really a lot of fun to keep up with and follow.
Matt Liner's another great follow on TikTok if you're on there. So
Yeah, Jameis Winston's going to be a great radio personality, or I say radio, TV personality, broadcasting. Like, he's going to be one of, like, I feel like he could be a Shaq type guy for the NFL, like, genuinely. You know, I love watching Shaq stuff. I don't know if you follow his story and just the things that he's done throughout his career, but then continues to do. You know,
Even though he played at LSU, one of my all-time. He is my all-time favorite basketball player. Like, I love Michael Jordan, but like Shaq was my dude, and everything that he's got his hands in now, be it pizza, DJing, it is absolutely hilarious. He's so good at it.
You know, I remember watching Shaquille O'Neal when he was in college and everything, and you could see. I've never seen a guy his size that athletic. He can make plays that guys could only dream about making that are a lot less, a lot smaller than him.
It was before he went to LA and got fat.
Well, I mean, listen, when he was with the Orlando Magic,
He could have run the floor.
He was incredible. I saw him play as a true freshman in Knoxville during March Madness in 1990, and just watching him play, and it was a sight to see. A guy named Stanley Roberts. They had two 7-footers together on the same floor. Incredible athleticism for LSU back then.
Since we're on basketball, have you heard the whole LeBron James Christmas stuff? Him going at the NFL. He did it last year.
I heard Fitty come after LeBron today. Said you're next, but I don't know if that's for this show or not.
So 50 took a break from Diddy.
Yes.
Yeah, Fitty told LeBron today, "You're next." And I'm not talking about basketball.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we can discuss that on this show. But anyways, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
He switched. So last year he was like, "Christmas is our day," yada yada yada, talking about how the NFL doesn't need to be playing on Christmas. And then fast forward 360 odd days, he was like, well, I mean, like, I'd rather be on my couch with my family, but, like, it's the game that I grew up watching and yada, yada, yada. It just seems like he just says things. You would think that he's more calculated, and a lot of times he is. But the LeBron James that, like, I know, like, I'm always going to think Michael Jordan's the best player that ever played. And the LeBron James that I'm going to remember is the guy who, like, in interviews has, like, a random book that he's thumbing through to, like, seem like he's somebody of intelligence.
Trying to fit an image. Is anyone in this room like a big LeBron guy?
My brother-in-law is, but that's about the only thing.
I'm not anti-LeBron, but I'm not an NBA.
I enjoyed watching him when I was young.
My thing with LeBron is I actually really liked him coming out of high school, going straight in to the NBA. Just so much energy and the way he played the game. Like, he was tough. Well, and I get it's harder when you're older, but if you go back more than 5 years, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, it's gotten to a point where he's been marketed and pushed so much by the NBA that you kind of start catering to him, a la Tom Brady, where, like, guess what? In the NFL, quarterbacks don't really get hit anymore without a flag flying. It just doesn't happen. Back in the day when the guys like Peyton Manning and Joe Montana, going back even further, when those guys played, when they delivered a pass,
Peyton Manning played at the same time Tom Brady did.
Well, I'm talking about when he came out of college. You're late 90s. even
same,
then.
Same time when Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, their careers
When
exactly came out at the same time.
But the Tom Brady rules didn't happen until he was already established as this guy's won so many Super Bowls.
I think the Tom Brady
it didn't happen when he came from Michigan.
Yeah,
like he was nobody.
I'm thinking like after about 5 or 6 of those rattled on, he started getting hit late in his career.
Yeah.
And then
That's when those rules came into effect.
I believe it was an overall quarterback thing. I'm not going to put that on Tom Brady. It was there were quarterbacks getting hurt left and right in the NFL. They had to change the rules to protect all the quarterbacks. They weren't doing just to protect Tom Brady. Obviously, he was the name that people put that with. But you had quarterbacks going down left and right. They were doing anything in the world to protect the most important position in team sports, which is quarterback. I don't think that was a Tom Brady rule. I think it was an overall NFL quarterback rule.
I can get on with that because, like, we're looking at it today. Like, Phillip Rivers is coming out of retirement at 44 because the Indianapolis Colts can't find anybody to play quarterback for him because they've had so many injuries. Like, I get it. And
you're trying to get that insurance. Speaking of Cleveland insurance in the building today.
There you go. But, you know, even then, like, with how college football is going on today, development, I feel like, is taking a slide. Because guys aren't practicing in December because they're entering the transfer portal and they're doing this and they're doing that. And quarterbacks are realizing, oh, I just had a great year. My market value is now worth $4 million. They're taking a pause on that development and choosing a check. So, I've never felt like the quarterback position has been more important than it is right now. If you're a contender in the NFL, you have to have, and you've always had to have an elite guy, but like now more than ever, you've got to have an elite dude like a Lamar Jackson, like a Josh Allen,
Pat Mahomes,
to be competitive.
I saw an interview with a coach. He's retired. I wish I could remember who it was, who said he was shocked at times when they would draft a quarterback how little offensive play calling he had to do in college compared to what is the NFL. He goes, it's not even close. The playbook in college is like a little paper thin thing. NFL playbook way more. So there's such a big learning curve. That's why so many guys that go from being stars in college can't make it in the NFL because they just can't grasp all of the plays that they have to memorize.
Steven, you probably know the answer to this. Didn't Peyton Manning's coordinator like give him 3 play calls in the huddle, and then he chose, and then if he didn't like any of the 3,
he had 2 checks he could go to. It's I mean, Peyton was basically, the offense coordinator. Especially when he got to Denver. He just ran it.
And back in the 60s, 70s, the quarterbacks called their own plays.
Yes, yeah.
They didn't have guys coming in. The quarterback didn't have a guy coming from the sideline. The quarterback called his own play.
Steven, you mentioned Peyton's time in Denver. It was amazing watching what he was able to do because you talk about a guy that knows the game better than probably any coordinator out there, but he would be in the middle of the game and have a feel for the game and know what was flowing and what wasn't flowing. Sometimes it's hard for a guy up in a skybox to be able to see that.
Well, I watched Peyton play. I was on the sidelines for the Colts and Titans. Titans had Steve McNair. Colts had Peyton Manning at the time. The ball speed that in which Steve McNair threw it versus what Peyton threw it with was not even close. And it's like a 6th grader throwing with an 8th grader, basically. And but Peyton's knowledge made him, and his timing, it didn't matter. His ball was a little slow.
Sometimes had a little wobble.
That's what I was about to say. You saw my hand. Yeah, it's a little wobbly, but you know what? He knew where his guy was, and his timing was always great. That's what I think just separated him.
Yeah, so going back to kind of what I was saying, when you remember very well Peyton's rookie year with the Colts, pretty sure he threw more interceptions.
28 interceptions.
The same year the Tennessee won that championship. Yeah, I do remember. Keep going.
Yeah, that's right. 98. You're after. T. Martin had to get him the national title, unfortunately, right. Tennessee fans. But I was a big T. Martin fan. I like T. Martin.
Sure.
But so Peyton came into the league and got absolutely lit up when he was the quarterback for the Colts.
They were terrible.
They were. And watching the evolution of the Indianapolis Colts was they started adding pieces around him. They started giving him some time. But for those first couple of years, he absolutely got murdered.
He did. Well, here's why. The expectations of people just amaze me. When you have a prolific college quarterback and they get drafted 1, 2, or 3.
They're
and
going to a bad team.
Yes, your expectations are they're going to continue. Cam Ward, listen, he's run for his life this year. Do you know why he got drafted first? Because the Titans are awful.
Yeah.
That's the reason he's not getting drafted by a team that competes.
Not to mention, these guys are the best players, but it is regardless of your quality of playing college, it is a transitional period.
Absolutely.
Whenever you make that transition from the college level to the NFL level, just like high school to college, there's a difference of speed.
Oh, yeah.
You've got linemen running 4-something 40s chasing you. That doesn't happen a lot in college.
You know, and I think Jim can speak to this more than I can, but listen, any quarterback that's taken in the first 4 or 5 picks is a tremendous quarterback, that with high expectations. But there is a 4-year window, I believe, for franchises to get it right. You got 4 years to get it right for this quarterback, just like the Colts. They got better every year. And I think, Jim, it's about a 4-year window for most of this.
It is. And sometimes I'll see quarterbacks thrown to the curb too early. I'm like, y'all giving up on these guys a little bit too quick. Sometimes it's best. Look what happened. Patrick Mahomes, his first year, he didn't play. He sat on the sidelines learning. They put him in his second year, and he's been a fantastic quarterback ever since. Sometimes I think it would be best if you draft a quarterback, let him sit for one season behind a starter, watch how the NFL is compared to college, and then your second year, I think you're much more prone to be successful.
I think you can look at quarterbacks like Bryce Young. People wanted to give up on him early. They have a chance to win the division this year. You can look at a guy like Daniel Jones, who was drafted by, and I think way too early. I don't think he was that kind of early, but he goes to the Indianapolis Colts. They go 8-2 their first 10 games. Like, there's multiple examples of this where teams want you to be the guy in that year 1, year 2 window, and then they're like, all right, well, on to the next.
I want to tell you an organization that's got it figured out, going off what you're saying there, Jim. It's the Green Bay Packers.
They've done a great job.
When it comes to managing their quarterbacks, they're brilliant. Now, those backups might get a little irritated sometimes that they're sitting as long as they do, but look at what they do when they get their opportunity.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre.
Yeah.
You had Love sitting behind Aaron Rodgers. So the best thing to do is draft a quarterback when you want to, not when you need to.
How long would Tom Brady have sat if Drew Bledsoe never gets hurt?
Exactly.
Well, we'll never know. And it worked out good for him, obviously.
It worked out okay.
Yeah.
And so have you seen the documentary talking about those Patriots teams? And was it Garoppolo who came in after Brady? And everyone's like, hey, this is the next guy. And Tom Brady was like, dude, like, I'd already proven myself, and I was having to fight to get my job back. Yeah. Like, so I think there's a healthy amount of competition, but then when you're talking about those GOATs, those Brett Favres, those Tom Brady's, those types, but even going back further, Steve Young, look what he ended up doing when he came in for Joe Montana.
He started obviously in the USFL. He played for the Los Angeles Express. Then he went to a bad Tampa Bay team, and his career took a nosedive there. The best thing that happened to him was getting traded to the 49ers, sitting behind Montana. And I think Steve Young was a way better quarterback learning under Montana's tutelage.
I will say this about NFL teams. If you ever want to do some research, track jersey sales, and as long as they will keep them at quarterback. When jersey sales start to decline, I will almost automatically tell you that their time with that organization is coming to an end.
Interesting.
That's a cool tidbit right there for sure. Hey, with that, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk, obviously, it's that time of year, some college football playoff action, some bowl game action that's currently going on, and we're also going to kind of throw up some of our favorite things from this past year, our year in review, things that happened in sports that we covered here on The Drive. All that when we come back here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your winter with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft, buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. Cozy up to the goodness of the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our Urgent Ortho Walk-In Clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
Save up to 20% on a new Chevrolet truck or SUV during Don Ledford Chevrolet's year-end savings event. Here's just one example of the tremendous savings you'll see during this holiday event. You can buy stock number 251023, a 2025 Silverado 1500 LT, 4x4 crew cab with the All-Star package, and 20-inch wheels with a sticker price of $58,800 for the red tag price of only $46,425. That's $12,300 in savings, or over 20% off on Chevrolet's most popular truck. And yes, we have special finance and leasing options available as well, with your first payment not due for 90 days. So come in today and save big at Don Ledford Chevrolet. We're at 4595 North Lee Highway in Cleveland, or go to donledford.com for details and a trade assistance coupon. Don Ledford Chevrolet, where we say yes. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. The sale price includes qualifying rebates and or plus tax, tag, and title and dealer fee of $649. You must take delivery by January 2nd, 2026.
When the road gets tough, make sure your ride is ready at Cleveland Tire Center on North Lee Highway. They keep you rolling with the best brands, expert installation, and prices that fit every budget. Whether you need new tires, a quick rotation, or a full alignment, their certified team delivers fast, friendly service you can trust. Stop in today and feel the difference that quality makes. Cleveland Tire Center. Locally owned, dependable, and always ready to get you back on the road. Cleveland Tire Center. 4695 North Lee Highway, Cleveland, where the name says it all.
When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357.
Imagine this: handheld pizza puffs filled with mozzarella cheese and pizza sauce, topped with buttery garlic drizzle, with either 3 herbs or pepperonis. Well, it's a reality. Little Caesar's Crazy Puffs. Pick them up at 3 locations. Call Huff, Keith Street, or McGrady Drive, or order online.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks. Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Duracell in Cleveland is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians, $22 to $27 an hour. Excellent benefits beginning day one: medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply at Duracell.com. That's Duracell.com. And of course, we've got 3 follically challenged guys here, and we got another guy right here with a full, thick head of hair.
That's right. Now, listen, it's a little deceiving because I've got the cap on. I've got a little bit of more of a widow's peak than I used to, for sure. I'm creeping back a little bit, but Jim, I don't know why you pointed that out.
It's because I just looked around and I was like, man.
I should probably be the one pointing it out, that I have a full head of hair and the 3 of you don't.
You know what, though? When I walk outside and the wind is blowing, I'm like, don't mess my hair up at all.
Yeah, I will say.
And then when I walk in, it's like a slow motion video, just summer breeze.
Yeah.
Just right, Jacob?
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Get out of here.
All right.
Hey, have you looked at this score, by the way, this bowl game, Louisville-Toledo?
Yeah.
It's 27-22. Like, they were getting crushed.
Well, what's funny, because Louisville scored a touchdown to get to 27. Toledo intercepted a blocked their extra point, took it back for 2 points, and then they've just scored again. So with 2.5 minutes to go, it's only a 5-point game, but Louisville does have the football.
Stephen, what are your feelings? Again, Stephen Shelton on the show with us today. I'm Andy Morris with Jacob Mason and Jim Gum. What are your feelings, Stephen, on the current state of bowl games? We've talked about this on this show a little bit, and just to kind of let you know where I stand, I feel like they're pointless now. They're almost meaningless.
Well, a couple of things. Number one is the NIT. They've created outside the college football playoff is the NIT basically, but without a tournament style. I believe there's a couple things. These will not. I don't think bowl games will exist in another 5 years. There's no, like you said, no use for them. Number one, you're exposing kids to injury. They're not playing for anything. I mean, they're playing for a trophy that nobody cares about. Number two, if you will allow, I think if you polled every college football coach and said, we're going to give you 3 extra weeks of practice after the season, after your season's finished, if you don't make the college football playoff, just for equal, because we got to make this fair.
Yeah.
Make college football playoff. We're going to give everyone 3 extra weeks. I would bet you almost 100% of the coaches said we don't want to play in a bowl game, because most of them are just going so they can get those freshmen in there and start getting some work. Those 4 extra weeks. That's it.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that, and I'll also say this: I used to be one of those people. I know Jim was one of those people that one of the most exciting times of the year was when one of my buddies would come to me and say, "Hey, here's your sheet. Need your money. Pick all the bowl games." Dude, I loved bowl season.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. There's got to be a way that this can be salvaged.
Yeah, I mean, I've had suggestions, but even thinking about it logistically, unless the Music City Bowl wanted to go on campus at UT and be the sponsor for that, but then it's no longer the Music City Bowl. You'd have to, it'd have to be something else. But with the one thing about the Music City Bowl is Nashville's going to build a stadium that I think will get into the rotation of things. But I think there's a way to competitively take either those 16 teams that should be in or those 12 teams and add on to a playing game in the playoffs and salvage some of the known bowls and then just get rid of these out-of-nowhere bowls.
The one thing I'll say is that some of these bowls do have a very nice payout to the schools. Financially, it's a benefit. Now, this bowl that we're watching right here, this one does not have a great buyout. In fact, these schools will probably be in the red playing in this bowl game. But there are some bowl games, the ReliaQuest Bowl, the Citrus Bowl, the Gator Bowl, they've got a nice payout. And so financially it's good. And the players reap some of that with some of the stuff they get these days. So I think some of the bowls will survive. I think there's a handful that will not survive.
Do you want me to solve this for you? I can solve it for you right now.
I want to hear your opinion on how to solve it, and then I'm going to tell you mine.
Okay, well, mine's better. Listen, this is I'll solve it for you. What is the one thing that these what is the one thing that all sports need to survive?
Money.
But where's the money come from?
Fans.
Advertising.
Fans. Okay.
And
for advertisers to want to spend their money, what do they need?
Fans to spend.
Eyeballs.
You got to have
okay?
eyeballs. Yeah.
What about this? What if I told you that you have 20 bowl games to pick from, and the fans get to go online and they get to decide who plays who in these bowl games?
That's pretty cool.
If fan bases were
vote.
if a fan base were able to get involved, the only way that Major League Baseball has saved the All-Star experience is by allowing the fans to
You're
get involved.
absolutely right.
If fans would get involved, if they would allow them a say, finally in some sport, give them a say, you can solve a lot of things.
But you know what? There's some fan bases are so much bigger than others. You could never compete. For example, Ohio State, they're going to win more often than not as far as a fan vote because of the sheer number of fans versus a Vanderbilt. So you got to have something that's
hold
a
on
little
now.
bit
Hold
equal.
on now.
Total
Vandy's
number of fans.
There's people coming out of the woodwork
I
this
know
year as
they're
Vandy fans.
But you know what I'm saying, though.
But what
There'd have to be something a little bit more fair in my opinion.
you would have quadrants, of course,
Yeah.
but I'm saying you get to pick. You get to pick who you want to play.
Well, I like where you're going with
Yeah.
that, Stephen, and I'm going to tell you my idea, and I think you could maybe find a way to merge these together.
Make this thing have a baby?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
That's
get it.
right. Turn on some Marvin Gaye or something and make this work. So what? Jim's lost, right? He's
I know who Marvin Gaye is. I'm leaning towards Barry White. but
Okay.
That's another day.
So I've said this on this show before, but one thing that really, and I'm not a huge college basketball guy, but I kept up with the mocks in the NIT last year because, as Jim kind of said, that's your team. You pay attention to them when they have something to play for.
Mm-hmm.
I paid attention to UTC basketball in the NIT last year because I wanted them to go on a run. They went on that run, and we started talking about it on this show.
Every day.
It was a big deal. Guess what? They started talking about it on SportsCenter. Hey, the Chattanooga Mock. People knew where Chattanooga was. People knew who the Mocks were. So if you can take your idea, and listen, we've got our more than likely going to 16 teams in the college football playoff, which we're going to dive into that here pretty soon, what is actually happening in the college football playoff.
We have to, because we have to let Notre Dame in or nobody's happy. That's fine.
And we're going to talk about that. So when you go to 16 teams, that's all going to be bracketed. It's worked for years at the 1AA FCS level. It's worked for years. So that's where that's going. That's going to happen. You factor in bowl games to that whole tournament, and you got to keep the on-campus games because that in itself has been brilliant.
Those are by far the best things that happen to postseason college football.
I traveled to Columbus. I've been to Columbus a million times in my life, but I traveled to Columbus to watch the first game I've ever seen at the Shoe. It was a miserable night. It was score-wise and weather-wise, miserable night. But you know what? To have the experience of going there, to see how small that little Ohio script thing is. But anyways, to have the experience of going there was second to none. I would do it over again, even knowing the outcome.
Yeah, so with all of the good things that you have going, you expand, you go to 16 teams, you're on more campuses, you factor in all, as Jacob said, Music City Bowl might become a part of that. And then you take the rest of these bowl games, like the Armed Forces Bowl, which I like. I like those. What was the helicopter one?
The Military Bowl.
Yeah, or the Military Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You take those kind of bowls, and you factor it into an NIT-style tournament where you have your best of the Sun Belt, your best of Conference USA against, guess who you're going to throw in? Vandy, who got left out. Texas, who got left out. BYU, who got left out. You're going to take the best of your G5 teams against the borderline Power 4, and then you take the rest of those bowl games, factor it into an NIT-style tournament where now, as you said, Shelton, fans get to vote who's going to be the highest ranked in this tournament, who's going to be the worst. Like, that would be so much fun to see.
Well, it's just, again, because we put so much you're exactly right. We put so much focus, though, on the college football playoffs. Getting it to 16, I think, solves a lot of things. If you're not in the top 16, if we get rid of the stupid rule, if you win your conference, blah, 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 that's dumb. But
Did any of you tune in and watch Montana and Montana State?
I watched some of it.
I was excited to watch that game.
Yeah,
because it meant something.
I couldn't name a player on either team, but every year when they play and when that starts, and we're starting to see a little
Alabama and Auburn in that
exactly.
state.
Well, we're starting to see a little skirmish
here on the Louisville Toledo. But the problem is this: we've gotten all these bowl games, and I know we've gone too long on this, but we've got the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company Bowl, and you're like, I don't even care about this. Who? This means nothing to me.
Yeah. I have an idea, and I want to see what y'all think about it. You take the 4 power conferences, those eight teams that play in the conference championship games, they get a bid. It doesn't mean they're top 8 seeds, but they get a bid for playing in that game. Then you either have 4 or you have 8 spots left. So then you either have 8 or 16 teams playing for a playing game. Then that way everybody's playing the same amount of football. Like, you're not getting punished for going to play in the conference championship and playing an extra game that everybody else doesn't have to play. Everybody's playing.
Wait, who gets punished in those?
I'm talking about with injury, Andy.
I thought we were talking about Alabama.
No,
My bad.
You look at Georgia last year; they lose their starting quarterback. There's players. Indiana's dealing with it right now with one of the best defensive ends in college football this year. He's out for playing in a championship game. That's the nature of the beast. But Oregon didn't have to play in it. Oklahoma didn't have to play in it. Ole Miss didn't have to play in it. And you keep on going in that scenario. If everybody plays a play-in game, then we don't have to hear, oh, Notre Dame doesn't play in the conference championship. Their conference championship is going to be their playing game.
Yeah.
They get to make it.
I love that idea, honestly.
And
I do.
So Texas is not complaining that they're playing Ohio State first week of the season. They play a playing game, they get in. Like, to me, that solves so many problems. You can keep the 12 format and just add a playing game, because then those last 4 spots are going to be decided in 8 teams.
So of the college football playoff games this weekend, Which game, Jim, are you? I'm going to go around the whole horn here. Which game are you most excited to watch?
Coming up on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's Ohio State, Miami.
Right.
But that defense in Miami is legit. Sure. That's a good defense. And Ohio State, if they don't do a good job up front, Julian Sain's going to be in trouble.
At one point this year, Miami, I thought was the best team in the nation. Kind of fell off there, but for a little while. What about you? What game you?
So I'm going to go off script. I'm really excited about that Miami-Ohio State game, but I'm going to go kind of be the oddball here. Oregon and Texas Tech.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
You're not the oddball.
Oregon is such an explosive offense, but they are about to run in to a defense that I feel like is potentially the best defense in the country.
Can I be honest with you? This round right here, I know it's only been 1 year since we've expanded the playoffs, but this, to me, is why we expanded the playoffs. Getting these matchups, Oregon versus Texas Tech, Alabama versus Indiana, Ole Miss versus Georgia, Miami versus Ohio State. There's not one of them that I'm not excited about.
No, they're all
going to be, in my opinion, they're all going to be pretty good quality games and have good headline stories. I feel like the best matchup talent-wise probably is that 4 and 5 spot with Texas Tech and Oregon. But probably from an excited standpoint, if my dogs were to win, seeing who we're going to play on the other side, either that Ohio State, which you get the matchup of the Miracle at Midnight again, or you're playing Carson Beck in Miami, if they can go on and pass Ole Miss.
So, Shelton, what is your favorite game that you look forward to?
There's only one game that matters this weekend. It's Ole Miss, and it's Georgia. They've already played once.
Yeah.
These players and this coaching staff have one thing in mind. That is to beat a team that Lane Kiffin could not beat in the regular season. This is going to be the most intense from start to finish. The most intense. This game went down to the wire. Ole Miss gave it away.
Yeah.
In Georgia, they gave it away. Because they couldn't tackle anyone. But I'm telling you, I think Ohio State wins. I think Oregon, Texas Tech could be 56-54 by the time that thing gets over with, because both these teams can score. I think Oregon's got over 90 plays for 20 yards or more this season.
The most points Texas Tech, and again, not a beater of a schedule, the most points they allowed this year in a game, 26 points. And that was to Arizona State, kind of middle of the season. But outside of that, they held teams to 14, 7, 7, 14. It's hard to score on Texas Tech.
I will put Texas Tech's schedule up against Oregon's pathetic schedule anytime. So, who'd they play? Indiana? They play anybody else?
Yeah.
If you're in the Big Ten and you don't play Ohio State, Michigan, or Penn State, you didn't really have a season.
And Penn State this year was not as advertised.
But at the end of the day, Ole Miss, Georgia, only two teams that have played this year. Again, going to play for the second time. For the first time in the history of the college football playoffs, the head coach is not going to be there the second time around. It's on neutral field. I just think it's in the state that the coach went to. This thing is going to be probably the most epic college football experience maybe ever when it comes to college football playoffs, just because of all the intangibles that's coming into this game. It's going to be incredible.
I do think it's funny that none of us really put any emphasis on Indiana, Alabama.
I do think that's got a great storyline behind it, though.
And Indiana favored against Alabama. And 3 years ago, if you just said that, you'd have said, you're insane. Yet here we are.
If Alabama wins that game, you can kind of point at the Big Ten and be like, see, like you can almost say, like, you say that you go through this ruling schedule and, like, the Big Ten's the new power conference, and you can take Alabama.
Jim's taking some heat today here.
No,
it's Big Ten, man.
I don't have to believe what he's saying.
I know. I'm just saying that's what the storyline around the country is going to be. It doesn't necessarily mean that I believe it, but that's the talk.
Here's the problem with the Big Ten. If you take Ohio State out of the Big Ten, it's nothing. Okay? That's just plain and simple. You can take Alabama out of the SEC, it's still something. Just Ohio State, it just elevates the Big Ten and their status so much because they're so dominant. And they're always traditionally good. Just in my lifetime, when you think of teams that are north of Kentucky, you think of Ohio State, you think of Notre Dame. That's really it. I don't think.
What about Michigan?
Again, Ohio State and Notre Dame. Michigan for most of my life have not been.
They
very
just
good.
won a national title.
In my
what year were you born?
In 1978.
Okay.
But for most of my life, Michigan has not been a team that. You think of Michigan, but when you think about teams that can win championships, to me, or teams that you just automatically think of, in the South, I'll be honest with you. Let's take Tennessee out of the equation. In the South for most of my life, Florida State, Miami, Alabama. I mean, it's the three that I would think of if I'm thinking of three.
And you could argue that Steve Spurrier's Florida Gators were in that conversation.
They would have been.
And Urban Meyer he won two national championships. Steve Spurrier only
But
won
if you
one.
tell me, give me your first three you think of. First three you think of. You know, and you can go out west and do that, and in the middle. But I just feel that from top to bottom, when you look at Indiana's schedule, Indiana's about to go out there and get embarrassed. I'm just telling you now. They're going out there to get embarrassed.
So let's do this before we go to our next break. We're going to go ahead and make our picks for this next round of the college football playoff. We're going to go around the horn with it, starting off with the Capital One Orange Bowl. That one on January 1st, noon kickoff between Oregon, number 5 Oregon, number 4 Texas Tech. Jacob, we'll start with you.
Ooh.
That game will be on ESPN, by the way.
That's probably the hardest one for me to pick out of all of these. I think either team could win. Defense travels, and it's really hard for me to go against an elite-level defense. But give me the Oregon Ducks.
All right.
I'm going to Oregon.
Jim's going to Oregon. I'm going with Texas Tech for the reasons I've already said. Explosive offense, but the defense, this is the kind of defense you want to have to go into a tournament and win multiple games. They're here for the long haul. Long haul, Texas Tech, no doubt.
Quack, quack.
So 3 Ducks and a Texas Tech pick there. Okay, next game, Rose Bowl. And that's Alabama, number 9 Alabama, number 1 Indiana, January 1st as well, 4 o'clock kickoff on ESPN.
I'm going Indiana.
I'm going to go Indiana too, but it's because Alabama can't run the football. And at the end of the day, they played Oklahoma, who also is one-dimensional. They only play defense. They have no real offensive threat. I think Indiana is balanced enough to figure it out. I think Indiana wins that game.
So I'm going to kind of change it up on you guys a little bit. I think the Heisman Trophy winner, great kid, great ball player. He's going to see an SEC defense that he's not used to seeing, and I think this is going to be a lower scoring game, similar to the Indiana Penn State game. But I think Alabama is going to find a way to win the game.
If Ohio State and Indiana play 10 times, Ohio State wins 9 times.
Yes.
I think that was a little bit of a fluke, but, hats off them. The worst Heisman Trophy winner maybe in 25 years. But regardless, at the end of the day, there's 2 Alabama teams. And the one that can't run the football, you're right. If they show up, they're not going to win. I have a sneaking suspicion that the juices are going to be flowing a little bit more now because the monkey's off the back. Coach is not going to the M word up there and up north. And so I just feel Alabama's about to go in there. Give me Alabama by 10.
Yeah. Me and Shelton on the same page with that one. I really do think Indiana's going to be kind of shell-shocked seeing a good, hard-hitting, fast Alabama defense. We mentioned it earlier in the show. When you got these big guys that can run, it's just different. It is different. All right, All-State Sugar Bowl, number 6 Ole Miss, number 3 Georgia. Jacob, we'll start with you. Obviously, feel like you're going with your Bulldogs.
Yeah, and I'll take my Bulldog hat off. Like if you look at Georgia as a whole, the flaw that they had even when they played Ole Miss is their secondary was so suspect. And Ole Miss was able to sling the rock around. They were able to do a lot. That's kind of been fixed each game of the season. Their secondary looks a whole lot better. When they played Alabama, they looked like they were just out there to break their will. It genuinely looked like they were out there to just say, I'm bigger, faster, and stronger than you. So I think Georgia's playing some of the best football right now. Also, you want to talk about a quarterback that's been battle-tested, that's been in games where they've been behind. It's Gunnar Stockton. He's found a way to win ball games. Give me the Dogs.
All right, Jim, Ole Miss, Georgia.
I just trust Georgia more than I trust Ole Miss. I like, obviously the head coaching is a no-brainer. Kirby Smart's far and away the better coach. Al Golding, Pete Golding has only coached one game in his life. He got the win against Tulane. Well, this isn't Tulane. This is Georgia.
You're exactly right.
Georgia should win this game, and I'm going with Bulldogs.
Yeah, I'm going with Kirby Smart in this game. You mentioned coaching, Jim. I think this is one of the most well-coached, not off the field, on the field teams in the country. We're not talking about race cars right now. This is not Finish Line Radio. We're not racing. We're not going to the supermarket. But I am taking the Georgia Bulldogs.
Well, here's the deal. You look at this team, and Kirby Smart, great coach, good friends with Lane Kiffin. He knows Lane's tendencies. He knows a lot. They're friends. The problem with this is Lane Kiffin's not on the sideline. Georgia, although they will be using the same offense coordinator, same players, they're not going to know exactly what they're trying to do or what they're trying to run. They're going to have a little more freedom when it comes defensively because Lane's not going to, kind of pull some Lane stuff that he likes to do during the course of a game. But I will say this, unless they're giving a driver's test at halftime, Georgia wins this game because it is listen, they're on a mission, and I cannot wait to see Ohio State and Georgia play next week.
And then, of course, the last one, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic.
It's actually the first one, but,
Oh, it is. It's December 31st. So I was going from top to bottom on the bracket. Good call.
all right.
Hey, listen, that's why Jim's here, to keep me in line. Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, as he pointed out yesterday. Got to throw that classic in there. Number 10, Miami. Number 2, Ohio State. That is on December 31st, 7:30 on ESPN, which, by the way, we're going to have complete coverage here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3 of each and every one of these games. In this one, I'm going to get us kicked off. I really liked what I saw from Miami against A&M, but Ohio State is not Texas A&M. I know how dominant they were throughout the season in the SEC, but that was with a little bit weaker of an SEC schedule. Texas A&M had a favorable schedule. So I think Miami's going to hang around for a little bit, and when I say a little bit, like, have a cup of coffee, might get halfway through it. I think Ohio State is about to run wild with those wide receivers. In a fairly high-scoring game, I'm going with the Buckeyes.
Well, if both teams play their A game, I think Ohio State's going to win. But if Miami can put pressure on Julian Sayin, and he cannot sit back there and pick out his receivers, Miami has a real shot to win this game. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be about a 27-24 score, somewhere in that ballpark. I don't think it'll be high scoring, but I don't think it'll be 10-3 either. But I do think if they both play their A games, I like Ohio State.
Two things I don't trust. Mario Cristobal and time management and really managing a game. I can't trust that he can go out and win a game.
I thought you were going to throw snow bunnies in there too, but
No.
Go ahead. Proceed.
And also Carson Beck playing multiple good games back to back to back. Like I've seen it happen too many times. The lights get big. He throws 3 or 4 interceptions. And so I'm okay with picking Ohio State because it's something I can trust. It's a brand I can get behind. It's a coaching staff I can get behind. I will say I am nervous about Ryan. You know how I feel about this. I am nervous about Ryan Day calling the plays. I don't like a head coach that is calling plays from the sideline. He said he's taking over the duties for
Brian Hartline.
Well, listen, Carson Beck, he's more of a sand bunny guy anyway. That's why he went to Miami. So, Shelton, your turn.
Yeah, boy. Okay, well, at the end of the day, I believe that which Carson Beck shows up.
That's big.
Carson Beck is playing for his draft stock right now. This is his last chance to showcase whether or not he is worthy of a first 2-round pick type selection. I believe that Ohio State maybe a slow beginning on this one. I think Miami's speed will give them a little bit of trouble, but I still think Ohio State wins this game. And I'll go further because I won't be here. I think next week Georgia and Ohio State, that is for the national championship. Whoever wins that game will go on to win the national championship.
Yeah, I like that pick on that one. Hey, so with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back for the final segment, we're going to talk about some of our favorite things from 2025, the year in sports, our year in review right here on The Drive.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your winter with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft, buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. Cozy up to the goodness of the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks. Listen to the Alon Exchange, hosted by financial professionals Jay and Brittany Hagee, owners of Alon Planning Partners. Each week they discuss all things financial and answer your questions about investing, preparing for retirement, paying down debt, and more. The Alon Exchange, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on ESPN Cleveland 1013.
When an emergency happens, every second counts. That is why Park Ridge Health System is working to bring a new, high-quality, 24/7 freestanding emergency room right here to Cleveland. This ER will expand access for families in Cleveland and Bradley County, and it will give Polk County something it doesn't have today: dependable, around-the-clock emergency care. Together, we can make it happen. Visit ParkRidgeClevelandER.com to learn more and add your voice in support. That's ParkRidgeClevelandER.com.
I'm Dr. James Gooden. The staff and I at Milligan Vane would like to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
ESPN Cleveland 1013 is powered by Duracell.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our urgent ortho walk-in clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
Cleveland, the all-new Select Flooring and Remodeling is now open at 5555 North Lee Highway. We carry the top flooring brands you know and trust: Mohawk, Shaw, Engineered Floors, and United Weavers. We also specialize in home remodeling and roofing, delivering quality you can count on. Take advantage of 24 months interest-free credit. Come see us Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 2. Call us today at 423-889-3007. That's Select Flooring and Remodeling, 5555 North Lee Highway, Cleveland. From the floors to the roof, we've got you covered.
From the job site to the showroom, Wholesale Supply has the top brands you trust at the prices that work for your bottom line. With over 30 locations across the Southeast and over 75 years of service, no one supports contractors and communities like we do. Wholesale Supply, built to supply, trusted to deliver.
Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Do you have restless legs or leg cramps? Dr. James Gooden offers office treatment that can make you look and feel better within a day. And your procedure is covered by most insurance. Visit MilliganVane.com.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
For over 100 years, Mayfield Dairy has been delivering farm fresh dairy beloved by Southern families. Learn more about Mayfield today at MayfieldDairy.com. Of course, Mayfield, the primary sponsor of all things Atlanta Braves here on The Drive, as we kind of creep a little bit closer to when pitchers and catchers report. We're going to be talking a whole lot more Mayfield and a whole lot more Atlanta Braves here on The Drive. Excited about that. But with that, I want to go ahead and go into our 2025 year in review here on The Drive. What we some of the top stories. And listen, I don't want to handcuff you guys. We got a few minutes here. If you got a couple that you want to throw out there, feel free to do that. But a couple things that really stood out to me. I'm going to go one national level and then one kind of here locally. The first one here locally, the Barretts winning their third state championship in a row. Very impressive. Shelton, you got to be on the call the other night on MixedTV.tv of the Bradley Cleveland ladies game, as well as the guys. But you got a competitive Cleveland team kind of making things a little interesting this year. Bradley, they three-peated. That's such a cool thing to do in sports, so I wanted to give a quick shout-out to Coach Jason Reuter.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that team, I mean, how many three-peats have we seen? And we saw Cleveland football back in the 90s, but to do that in basketball, to do it in any sport is incredible. But if you look at sports in a whole, as from the female side, softball, basketball, volleyball, Bradley County's been very dominant the last 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah,
There's no doubt about it.
I was going to say the Feisty Phillies is one, and then Walker Valley flag football girls making it to the state championship in year one. I thought that was a pretty neat little story.
You mentioned the Feisty Phillies, the Walker Valley softball team, state champions this year.
Yeah.
But bringing some hardware back to Bradley County, no doubt about it.
Well, my favorite sports memories from this past year are two things. One with the Mocs winning the NIT. I know that we don't give the Mocs a lot of love, but that was a big time deal to me. And then Game 7 of the World Series between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, it looked like the Toronto had that game won, and somehow, some way, the Dodgers were able to win it. But that was an unbelievable game, unbelievable World Series as well. So those are my top two.
I've got three, and I'll get out of your way. One is my first ever visit to the Masters with Josh Rogers. That was once in a hope it's not once in a lifetime. Patrick Spangler, but it's a incredible experience. Number two, this is kind of a off-topic deal, but John Cena retiring from the WWE. That's really the last of the guys that I watched kind of growing up a little bit. That's it.
The image of him in the headlock just grinning,
it's over.
That'll live forever.
Yeah, that's over. And Shohei Ohtani, Game 4 of the NLCS, 3 home runs, 6 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts. The greatest, and I say this you can throw at me whatever you want to throw at me, the greatest single game performance in the history of the game of baseball.
Yeah,
or maybe all of team sports.
Yeah,
seriously.
I think that's very easy to argue, no doubt about it. Kind of talking baseball since we're on it, Cal Raleigh, what he was able to do as a catcher this past year was phenomenal. Led Major League Baseball in home runs, and while catching baseball games, that's something that's so difficult to do. Not only calling a game, getting beat up back there, foul balls, getting hit by the bat on swings at times. Like,
I mean,
that's so impressive.
Just the squatting position itself, even without the foul balls, just sitting there squatting down all on 9 innings a lot of times. Takes a toll on
my left knee's barking as you say that, by the way. So the next thing that I want to throw out there, and people are going to cringe when I say it. Stephen Shelton said he was going to give us the floor. I'm about to bring him right back into it. Nico Iamaleava and all the drama that went on with him was such a huge topic right here on this show. We got more hits on our social media with that than just about anything, except maybe me coming in full uniform, I think. But everything that went on with Nico was so captivating, and I want to say this. It was such a blessing to Volunteer fans because you ended up getting a quarterback in Joey Aguilar, who I very quickly became a huge fan.
Well, the only thing that got more hits than your social media with Nico was Nico himself at UCLA.
Yeah, he took a lot of hits. By the way, did you see where he just announced he is going to play for UCLA in 2026? And he is eligible for the NFL draft.
They taking care of the taxes, so he gets a little bit more money.
He needs more game action there at UCLA. And they finally got a decent coach. I mean, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
The head coaching position at UCLA was a complete debacle this past year. But, we'll see what he does in 2026.
My favorite thing we did on the show this year was interview Rich Clark, the director of the College Football Playoffs. I thought that was a really neat and fun interview. And the man himself was just a great interview. Like, he was just so good. Then, sports-wise, I'm going to throw you off for a loop here. We didn't win it. But the Four Nations hockey, dropping gloves and throwing hands, was probably one of my favorite.
A little free bird after every goal. That was fun.
That was one of my favorite sporting events to watch this year just because, one, it's very manly just to throw down some gloves and start, 3 fights in 9 seconds of play was awesome.
And I'll say this, I know we're running out of time, but I'll say this, one of my enjoyments this year has been listening to you guys. This show has evolved to something that I think was first envisioned when Steve was able to bring ESPN to Cleveland, and you guys have done a fantastic job. Some of your interviews have been great. I mean, just the guys you've been able to bring in, the quality of people you've been able to bring in, it has been second to none, and something that should be applauded by everyone in this community. Your dedication to not only local sports but also giving a little bit of the college and national scenes as well, and being able to balance that has been incredible. And I try to catch you guys every day for at least 20 or 30 minutes, or when Jacob's not talking about Georgia. But is really the testament to the time. When people listen to the radio, they don't understand how much time goes into this, preparing for it.
Sure.
But you guys have really blown it out of the water, and I'm very excited to see now that the chemistry is really there. And Jacob can see again what 2026 can really bring to this station, as we've got a lot of big things coming, especially starting next football season.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, Stephen, but I want to give Jim Gum credit. He's been pretty much the driving force on getting a lot of these guests for us. Very well connected, Jim Gum.
I appreciate that. Listen, here's my philosophy. You got to ask, do we get everyone we want? No. There are some people that are like, Cleveland, Tennessee. I've never heard of Cleveland, Tennessee. I'm going to pass. But every now and then, you throw it out there, something sticks to the wall.
Land a big one.
And you're like, you know what? And listen, we run a professional radio station here, and we don't take it lightly. We put a lot of effort into this station, and the proof's in the pudding, man, if you ask me.
Yeah, running something professional in this building is a challenge to begin with. But
shout out Steve Hartline.
But I think he's listening. But I will say this: the good thing about the guests that you have had, and you know how this works in the world, when you start name dropping those people that have been on this show, other people all of a sudden say, "Oh, yeah, we've got 5 minutes to give you." So
they get Tony Barnhart. You know who Tony Barnhart is.
Yeah.
Mr. College Football.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Getting Adam Rittenberg from ESPN.
Lowe.
Well, even getting
all these guys.
Getting all three of our local high school football coaches every single week is something that you don't get to hear that anywhere else except right here on ESPN Cleveland. And going back a little bit further, Josh Rogers and I had the opportunity to interview Philip Former earlier this year, which was awesome. Kind of hearing. From the grassroots all the way up to winning a national title in '98, it was a lot of fun to do that interview. But my favorite moment here on the show, as we cut away for the 6 o'clock hour, is finding out that we're not going to have another show till after New Year's.
Right.
So this is our last show of the year. But I've been told that it's a good possibility. Very good possibility that in celebrating 2026, Jim Gum is in fact going to get his nipples pierced, and we're going to cover it right here on ESPN Cleveland.
And with that,
hey, listen, we appreciate everybody tuning in all year long, and definitely keep up with that college football playoff. We're going to talk a lot about it when we come back in January. And with that, have a great evening and Merry Christmas, everybody.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your winter with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft, buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. Cozy up to the goodness of the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our Urgent Ortho Walk-In Clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
Save up to 17% now on a new GMC truck or SUV during Don Ledford's GMC year-end savings event. Here's just one example of the tremendous savings you'll see during the holiday event. You can buy stock number D251090, a 2025 GMC 1500 Crew Cab, SLT, 4-wheel drive with a sticker price of $61,640 for only $51,043. That's $10,600 in savings, or over 17% off on the most popular truck in the GMC lineup. And yes, we have special financing and leasing options available as well, with first payments not due for 90 days. So come in today and save big at Don Ledford GMC. We're at 4595 North Lee Highway in Cleveland, or go to donledford.com for details and a trade assistance coupon. Don Ledford GMC, where we say yes. GMC, we are professional grade. The sale price includes all qualifying rebates and is plus tax tag and title and dealer fee of $649. Must take delivery by January 2nd, 2026. tickets.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks.
Hey, this is Alfonso, the general manager of Crown Cleveland, your local home for Jeep and Ram. I'm here to announce that we have revamped our express lane. We are fully staffed and ready to take care of all your quick lube and oil needs. Please Google Crown Cleveland and see our great service specials.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 1013, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 1013.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
You're listening to the Titans Radio Network on ESPN Cleveland 1013. The following presentation of the Titans Radio Network is pre-recorded and aired on delay.
The guys were communicating well. They were talking back and forth. They were into the game. You can tell when a team is like over it. This team was not over it yesterday. They were in it to win it. They were ready to go. And as things were happening and people were making plays in every phase of the game, everybody was energized by that. I was happy for the people that were there, the people who stayed until the end, who were able to celebrate. After the game, Big Jeff talking to the crowd on the Jumbotron, just talking about how much it meant to get a win in front of this fan base. The people who stuck it out, not only through this season, but throughout that game. You know, it was just a really special moment.
You're a good person. You know that? Thank you.
True.
Thank you for being so thoughtful and thinking of us. It was a lot of fun for us to share that on Sunday. And I appreciate you referencing all the members of our broadcast team. Our statistician, Kevin Maloney, to see how fired up he was a really cool thing for me. We've worked together for a very long time and treat each other like brothers. And the fact that he was there to see that was special. My wife always likes to ask our family, what was your favorite part? So I'm asking you, Amy, what was your favorite part?
What was my favorite? You know what's funny is my daughter asked me the same question last night. They should hang out. They could they could chat together. I think my favorite part, oh gosh, there's a lot. There's a lot. Probably at the end of the game, solidifying the victory, seeing that like this is a victory formation moment. Like this isn't a hold your breath and hope you pull it off thing. Like this team won it, kneel down, like game on, we did it. You know, like that was really special because even in some of those wins that the Titans have had this season, it's been a hold your breath to the end and then, thank God.
That's right.
This was a decisive win. This was the Tennessee Titans came out, they played a good game, they did what they had hoped to do, they executed well. Yes, there are some things you want to change. I'm not saying the whole game was perfect, of course, but they came out and did what they came out to do, and they did it without a whole lot of question. And so to see Cam Ward lining up, victory formation, kneel down, we win, you lose, let's go, like that was really fun for me. That was my favorite part.
I'm going to give you mine in a moment, but since you just mentioned Cam Ward, I want to talk to you about something. So I'm sure you've gotten this a lot, especially doing this as long as you have with the Titans. This is your 13th year working for the Tennessee Titans. And so since you have lived this and you've been so front-facing representing the Titans for so long, I know that everywhere you go, people say, Amy, what do you think of Cam Ward?
Yeah.
Do you think this guy's our quarterback? Do you think this guy's the quarterback of the future?
Yes.
There have been so many people that have said that to me, you know, since we drafted Cam in late April. And I don't know about you, but and I've had him in recent days, like going to Christmas parties. And I'm not talking about doubters. I'm talking about people that aren't that connected to the Titans that maybe
don't know.
That just don't know. That's right. That aren't connected or that maybe are fans of other teams that just come in and say, like as an example, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, somebody that works for the Kansas City Chiefs came up to me and said, what do you think of Cam Ward? And what was really cool to me was during that game, I got a handful of texts in the game saying, wow, Cam Ward is the real deal. And it was really cool after what we've been saying this entire process, like, I'm telling you, this is the guy, and he's going to show you. It was really cool for him to show everyone, I thought, on Sunday.
Yeah, I appreciate when a player backs up what we say because it makes us seem really, really smart. But really, I mean, we have the opportunity to watch Cam. We watch the way he works. We watch the way he practices, the way that he kind of pours into this team and how passionate he is about just being the very best quarterback that he can possibly be. So to see him finally go out and have a game where you can tell he feels good about the way that he's playing. You can tell that he's kind of in the vibe and he's feeling it. I mean, his stat line's no joke. 21 completions on 28 attempts for 228 yards. He was only sacked twice. He had 2 touchdown passes. I mean, his rating was 122.3. I mean,
that's off the charts, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple little rushes, so he had a couple rushing yards there. I mean, the guy was doing exactly what we know Cam Ward is able to do. So to finally see him have that statistically a good game to back up the things that we've been saying about how he's a good game manager and how he's a great leader and how he's so calm. All of that stuff is great and real and very important for quarterbacks to have, like those soft skills, I guess we can call them, but to also have the numbers to back it up, because at the end of the day, people want to see the stats. They want to see, like, give me the numbers that tell me this guy's a good quarterback. Boom, got them. They're right here. Like, I've got the numbers to tell you that. So that, to me, I think was exciting to see. It was good to see him do the really tangible, measurable things that people are wanting him to do, to say, this guy's the real deal. Like, yeah, we know, but we've been telling you, but now the numbers tell you to.
Well said. Tony Pollard going over 100 yards for the third straight game. This guy is such a pro, Amy.
Can't be stopped.
Such great care of himself. Such a hard physical runner. Always gets the extra yard every time you give him the ball. Always falls forward. He's just the exact kind of teammate you want on a young football team. Hey, this is how you're a pro. This is how you handle your business. He has been exceptional in that regard, so he certainly deserves a shout-out. And then how about some guys that a bunch of people didn't really know? Truman Jones had 1.5 sacks in the game, a guy that wasn't on the roster 6 weeks ago. Keemon Hall wasn't on the roster a month ago, and that guy made a bunch of tackles in the game. So it was cool to see those guys step up. Cedric Gray, unfortunately, unable to play in the game due to an injury against San Francisco. James Williams Sr. starts for the first time this year, 9 tackles and a sack.
Yep.
You know, that's just truly next man up. It really speaks to the culture the team has.
You know, it was interesting. I was standing on the sidelines when they were doing, like, the team was coming out of the tunnel and they were announcing the defense.
Yeah.
And I'm watching and I was like, that's a new starter. That's a new starter. He hasn't started in a couple weeks. Like, the starting lineup was so different from a month ago, 2 months ago, training camp. Like, that's just the nature of what this team has kind of gone through this season. And so to see the defense come out and have a great performance and have a strong day, and all these guys really take advantage of that moment that they were given, I mean, that's exactly what you want in a football team. And that's the foundation. Like, that's the building block right there, is when guys are given the opportunity, they show up, they show out, they do what they need to do, they put together a complete game. And when you have a roster full of guys like that, you're in a pretty good spot.
Jeff Simmons, a tackle for loss. He had 2 of them. One, a safety, and then he should have been the blocker on a touchdown. He did raise his arm, and he announced his presence onto the field.
Say what you want, and I'm not here to say anything nasty about refs. I leave that to Coach Mack.
I was going to say.
That's his job.
Coach Mack is not going to Cleet Blakeman's Christmas party this year.
You're telling me that a guy wearing all red on his sleeve with his giant, like, meaty arm in the air, like, nobody saw that? Really? Come on, friends.
He was great in the game, regardless of what counted and what didn't. So
I count it. It counts for me.
Amy, let me tell you my favorite part.
Yeah.
It was after the game. It was when Jeff Simmons went to his press conference. The Titans' best player, one of the best players in the National Football League, in the press conference after the game said, "This is why I don't want to go anywhere." He said, I know what's in our locker room. I know how special Cam is. I know how special this team of young bucks is going to be. And I got chills watching that. When the best player on the team, who very well could go in and say, guys, you're in a rebuild mode, trade me somewhere. I want to compete for a championship right now. When he says, no, I believe in what we're building here. I want to be here when we turn it around, and I want to be the reason why we turn it around. That was powerful. So that was my favorite part.
You know what's crazy about Jeffrey Simmons? And we have watched his entire career from, like, the moment he was drafted all the way through. I'm just kind of always, like, in his face, asking him questions for TV shows and radio shows. But I was thinking about this the other day. Jeffrey Simmons believes so deeply in the Tennessee Titans organization. He believes so deeply in like this place, this city, this organization, this group. And I think part of that is because of how deeply Amy Adams Strunk believed in him from the day she drafted him. And it was such an emotional time, and it was such an emotional moment because he was injured, because he didn't have the cleanest background story, because he had all of these different things that felt like obstacles that he needed to overcome. But Amy was very adamant that this is our guy. This guy's a Titan. I trust this guy. I love this guy. I want him to be on my team. And it feels like we are continuing just to see the fruits of that as his career goes on, that he loves this organization the way that she loved him initially. And that is just, I think that's a really powerful statement for how bigger this is. I know we talk about this being a business all the time, and we talk about how this is, really just one of those hard places to exist in a place like professionally, and it's very cutthroat and it's very hard. But there are those moments where the stars just align and everything is perfect and a player fits an organization so perfectly. And that's Jeffrey Simmons to the Tennessee Titans. And it's just been that way from the very beginning. And I hope he's a Titan for 45 years. I want him to play until he's 88 years old, and I just want him to be here forever doing things for this Titans team. And we have no idea what's going to happen in the future and in life and all of that, but the light that he has been for this team through good times and bad is just phenomenal. I will forever be a Jeffrey Simmons fan.
Really well said. That's cool for you to share all of that. And I know that Jeff Simmons wants to come back on the OTP very soon, and I know we're going to have him back on the OTP very soon.
Who doesn't want to be on the OTP? Let's really talk about it. Is there a better place to hang out for a couple hours? Minutes?
Do you want to tell everyone who the next guest is on the OTP?
Speaking of people who love the OTP, Cam Ward, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go.
A Christmas gift to you all. So if you are not subscribed to the OTP, you need to be, because that will be dropping later this week. Cam Ward with our very own Taylor Zarzer, chatting about all of the things.
All of things.
I'm so excited for this interview, for fans to get to hear from him and to just kind of get an update on what's been going on and what this season's been like. And I know that you guys are going to have some free time. You're driving to your family's house. You're driving home from your family's house. You're going to sneak away and say you have to take a nap, air quotes. And what you should be doing is listening to the OTP, because you need a little downtime. And Cam Ward will be there to hang out with you over the holiday season. There you go.
I can't wait for everybody to see that. Merry Christmas, Amy.
Merry Christmas, TZ.
Thank you very much for all that you do for us. Coach McCoy is coming up next. We're looking forward to that. But first, here is the pinnacle moment of the game. Cam takes the shotgun snap, fakes the handoff, instead throws a shovel pass, and Chigakonkwo gets to the goal line, and that is a Titans touchdown. That was sweet. I think that Kareem Hunt is back there, and it's Hunt that'll get it, and Hunt is safety. That is a safety. Okay. Jeff Simmons gets the safety in the back of the end zone, and the Titans score first. And DK goes in motion now to the top of the pattern. Cam looks to the bottom, no one there. Now he's flushed out, going against his body. Needs to get rid of it. Chunks it downfield. It's caught. Jim DK on the sideline makes the grab. Christian Fulton pushes it out. There are a lot of options this week, so pretty cool to get to listen back to that. Pinnacle Bank is the official bank of your Tennessee Titans. Sign up for Titans Banking exclusively at Pinnacle. Visit titansbanking.com, member FDIC. Coach Mike McCoy joins us next on Monday Night Titans.
The Titans style of smash mouth football is built in hard-fought practice. Drill after drill after drill. The same goes for Nissan's lineup of vehicles. Thousands of hours of testing. Mile after mile after mile. That's why Nissan is #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year.
Here's a club you'll want to get into, Club Citgo. It's the super easy app that opens the door to great fuel savings and more. Sign up and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up, plus everyday savings that really add up. You can also enter our sweepstakes with multiple winners and giveaways, like free gas for a year. And Club Citgo makes paying easy with a convenient mobile pay feature. So welcome to the club where all the action is. Download Club Citgo today. Savings could up to 30 gallons, only at participating locations. Data rates may apply.
When it's time to make a stand, you need the strength to hold your ground and a bond that says, I got your back. It's true in football. It's true in banking. Titans Checking from Pinnacle with robust fraud protection. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Titans checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit of at least $300 by January 30th. And you could get a $200 Titans Team Store gift card. Details at titansbanking.com. Member FDIC.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
What's ahead for your Titans? We discuss that and much more as you listen to Monday Night Titans presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. This is Titans Radio.
The gift of savings is yours this Christmas at Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. They are offering up to $4,000 total savings on 2025 Frontier and just 4.9% APR for 60 months, plus up to $1,000 total savings on 2025 Sentra. Want to trade in your old car? Nissan is giving up to $5,000 over book value when you trade, and they will buy your car even if you don't buy theirs. Shop in person on exit 20 off of I-75 or visit cleveland-nissan.com. Payments are per month for 75 months. Does not include tax, tag, title, or dealer doc fee. Must finance through the dealer, subject to credit approval, and pick from new dealer stock.
Today's Game Break brought to you by Alon Planning Partners. Now's the time to create a winning game plan for your financial future. Call us today at 423-315-1441.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Bradley Concrete and Lamcon Ready Mix is a family-owned business and has been serving Cleveland for 40 years. They work with customers large and small. Call Bradley Concrete at 423-479-4541 or visit lamcon.us to find out more.
This is Dr. Brian Beard with the Center for Cosmetic Dentistry. Believe it or not, if you have fear of going to the dentist, you are not alone. Sedation dentistry can completely eliminate this fear. In fact, most people that have sedation dentistry say they would not do it any other way. Call us today at 476-6541 to see if sedation dentistry is your answer to complete dental care.
Here's some real magic. Refinance your existing auto loan for a better rate from TVFCU.
TVFCU, a place for all of us.
Call 634-LOAN.
From the job site to the showroom, Wholesale Supply has the top brands you trust at the prices that work for your bottom line. With over 30 locations across the Southeast and over 75 years of service, no one supports contractors and communities like we do. Wholesale Supply, built to supply, trusted to deliver.
Whirlpool Cleveland is currently hiring for entry-level production roles. Starting pay $18.25 per hour, jumps to $19.35 per hour after 90 days. Benefits start on day one, including medical, dental, vision, 401k, life insurance, and more. 120 total hours of paid time off. 10 hours the first 3 months. Remaining balance after 90 days. Apply at jobs.whirlpool.com. Jobs.whirlpool.com.
And that was at Nissan Stadium on Sunday.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, it's great to win at home. And what a great environment it was. My wife made a comment driving home, how loud the place was, obviously, because you're having the success we had. It's been a little different. So it's outstanding. Just really happy with a lot of the players. You got players like Jones going in there and Keemon Hall in there making plays. It's just a great team effort, and some guys that haven't played a ton getting opportunities to step up and play. So team win by everybody.
Sounds like after watching the tape, you felt just as fulfilled by their performance.
Yeah, it was a great effort to see the way Cam played. Obviously, running the ball the way we did again. Jeff dominating. Defense not giving up a touchdown. A couple field goals in there, obviously, but it was just an outstanding team performance, and that's what it's all about. And I think it just goes to show, through the ups and downs and the tough part of the season, to win 2 of the last 3. You always say you want to be playing your best football in December, but the guys with great leadership and everybody in the organization buying in and just sticking together through some tough times, it's a reward to everybody for the way we played yesterday against a really good team.
Well, you've already given a couple of shout-outs, so I'd like to go through it and give some more, and if you want to jump in, go for it. Cam Ward, 21 of 28, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a quarterback rating of 122.3.
Yeah, an outstanding game for him. And then also we were 52% on third down, but I think anytime you can run the ball 40 times, I know we kneeled the last couple, but it just helps him. And I think then he had those wow plays yesterday. You saw him take off and run. He managed the run game the right way of when to throw it, whether it's a bubble or whatever the play was designed off of the run action, the RPOs and things like that. But he really managed the game and played, probably his best game of the year.
As Amy and I talked about in the previous segment, again, shameless plug, he's our guest this week on the OTP. Let's get to the ground game. You already talked about 40 carries in the game, including kneel downs. Tony Pollard, 21 carries, 102 yards. For the first time in his career, 3 straight 100-yard rushing performances. Now, there's only one player in the NFL this year, Mike, that has gone over 100 yards and had a touchdown in each of those games, James Cook of the Buffalo Bills. Personally, I think Tony Pollard should have joined him, but that touchdown was taken off of the board, unfortunately, because they didn't see our guy Jeff Simmons raise his arm as he came onto the field. But Pollard has just been special these last 3 weeks.
Yeah, give him credit. It was frustrating early in the year, and it was just it's been unbelievable how we've run the ball the past couple weeks. And you commit to it, and you say we have to do it. Give everyone credit, give the coaches credit for designing the plan, the players going out and execute it. So it's amazing when you run the ball that many times. Those 2s and 3s become big plays. You commit to it. It changes the mindset, the personality of your team and everything. So very pleased with the way we're running the ball.
This is what everybody envisioned Tajay Spears would do in a football game. 13 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. 5 catches, 53 more yards.
Yeah, it goes back to my days in Carolina, and you always had 2 backs. You always said we had, that 2-headed monster. And I think that we went back from the early days, the Super Bowl year of Stephen Davis and Deshaun Foster, and then it finished up with Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams, and we always had 2 that just kept rolling. And when you have 2 backs like we do, they both play, and the touches are going to be it's going to be different week in and week out. But you love to see when you have 2 backs perform the way they did yesterday. It really helps the football team win games.
Chig Okonkwo goes over 50 catches for the 3rd straight year. He had 6 in the game, including a touchdown grab. Alec Manor continues an outstanding rookie year with 3 more catches for 58 yards. And Chim Dike, we knew he'd be a special return man, but in the passing game, he has been your leading receiver. Your tight ends are 1 and 2 in catches, but from the wide receiver position, he has the most catches on the team. He had 3 in the game, including a touchdown.
Yeah, it just, all those guys you mentioned have done an outstanding job. And you see Chig especially when he gets the ball in space, the play he's made and making guys miss and things like that. So very happy and pleased with what he's done. And, obviously Gunner is that next guy you've mentioned. He just continues to get better week in and week out. And then Chim's Chim. He just makes his plays, and he's got a very bright future. And obviously he's been the best returner in the league, and then you see him starting to make more and more plays week in and week out in the passing game, and I think that's just he's only going to get better, and I think he'd tell you the exact same thing. But it's like all these rookies, they're having success because of the way they work, and they're learning from some great vets.
Yeah, to your point about Chim, he leads the NFL in all-purpose yards, and he now has the franchise record for kick return yards in a year. He passed Mark Mariani with his performance in this game, and he's done it in 15 games. It's incredibly impressive. And a shout-out to Johnny Hecker, who is now 8th in NFL history with punts inside the 20. He has 398 in his career.
That's a lot of kicks. He's played a long time.
Yeah,
I don't know, as a punter, is that you've played a long time or what kind of teams you're on, but that's a lot of kicks.
Yeah, and he passed our guy, Brett Kern, for 8th ever in that category. All right, I just got through offense and special teams. You've already referenced a couple of guys. Keemon Hall, Coach, he wasn't on this team a couple of weeks ago. He had 5 tackles in the game. You mentioned Jones, who had 1.5 sacks in the game. The man out of Harvard coming in there and getting a sack and a half. My man Everett loved the New England pronunciation there. Jalen Harrell, also a sack in the game. Jihad Ward ties his career high in a season with 5 sacks. All of those guys deserve shout-outs. And then, of course, Big Jeff continues to crush it. He had a couple of tackles for loss in the game, including that safety tackle. And, Coach, you lost Cedric Gray in this game. James Williams Sr. comes in, and the beat goes on. 9 tackles and a sack.
Yeah, all those names you mentioned that not everyone might have known about. The game is about making the most of your opportunities when you get an opportunity to play. And all those people you mentioned, it's just a great opportunity. It's a great example, and give the coaches credit for, we bring guys in a couple weeks ago and you see the way they're playing. There's the ups and downs. There's the injuries during the season, and there's no excuses on Sunday. But guys go out and play, and that's what's great. And that leads me to James. He knew he was going to get this opportunity, and we talked about it in the team meeting. And I mentioned to him how excited I was to see him play, and it's because you get excited for guys like him because they work so hard, and you can only play so many guys. And Seth has had a phenomenal season, him and Cody, both at the linebacker position. And then James gets an opportunity, and he goes out and plays the way he does. He's been one of our core special teams players all year long, but it's because of what this game means to him and the way he works, all the looks in the look team he's given the offense all year long. I couldn't be happier for him to go out and play the way he did.
Every week when we talk about the keys to the game in the pregame show, Coach, you always talk about third down efficiency and the running game. Well, the Chiefs were 1 for 9 on third down. The Titans were 9 for 17. The Chiefs only ran for 51 yards. The Titans ran for 164. Just total dominance in those categories.
Yeah, that's the key to winning football games, is be great on third down. And obviously, as we've changed our mindset here the past month about running the football and stopping the run, I think they feed off each other offensively and defensively, because you create a new identity for your football team when you're physical up front. When it's the front 7 stopping the run on defense, and it's the entire offense, and I like to say entire offense because give the receivers a ton of credit for the way they block also, especially when teams know you're going to run the ball. They're going to load the box up, and they got to go do their job. But just look how physical the line's playing up front, and look how the backs are running the ball. If you go back 5-6 games ago, it was different. You see a completely different football team now up front, especially offensively.
And time of possession, 38:01 for the Titans, 21:59 for the Chiefs. You had the ball more than 16 minutes than the Chiefs did in the game. What, Coach, just very candidly, what does it say that a 2-12 football team played like that on Sunday?
It says a lot about the character of our guys and what the game means to them. And, give the coaches a ton of credit also of just, we do it the way we do it. And when I say that, the coaches coach and they do it the right way. The players all have bought in. They work extremely hard week in and week out. Nobody is happy with the record, but that you still have a job to do. And, you go out every week and you have another opportunity, and you only have 17 of them. And so you've got to go out there and make a name for yourself. And we as a team have got to show everybody what type of team and what type of players we have. So you've got to, no one's going to feel sorry for you during the season. Doesn't matter if it's week 1 with injuries, things like that, things that happen, that come up, or, now we're getting into the last 2 weeks of the season. They don't worry about anything. Everyone's going out there to win. But when you have great players, great leadership, great people in the organization, everybody's sticking together, you get the results like we did yesterday.
Well, it says a lot about you, and it says a lot about the culture of the team and how together that they are. Coach, teaching after a win, I know that's your favorite thing to do after a win. What are a few things you notice in the game that you still really want to focus on?
Well, we've got too many penalties. We had 12 penalties for 82 yards yesterday. A lot of those are avoidable. In the kicking game especially, when you have great field position and there's a penalty in the kicking game and then you get set back, those are, in close games, things like that, they come to bite you. And, some, jumping off sides or false start penalties offensively, those are all avoidable. So when in the close games, those are things that make a difference. And fortunately, we were playing the way we were yesterday, so it didn't hurt us as much as they do in really close games, because there might be that one possession now. Now you have a 3rd and long, you don't convert, and you don't go up 2 scores. Now the game's tied, things like that. So that's the number one thing from this game is really is the penalties.
Coach, usually at the beginning of your remarks in a press conference, you talk about health. Can you give us an update on Marcus Harris?
I do not have one yet. With meeting earlier today and everything, the way the schedule is, when I say a shorter week, that players are coming in tomorrow versus Wednesday, I have not met with Matt yet, so I don't have an update on anybody.
I know you care a lot about this kid. We had him on the OTP last week. He has an infectious personality, and it's part of the game, but he's had a really good rookie season.
Yeah, it's unfortunate the way he went down there. So we'll see what happens. It's just he's done such a nice job this entire year, and give Tony a ton of credit for developing him and help him grow as a player. Didn't matter if he started as a corner outside, gets moved into nickel. Obviously does a great job, then gets bumped back outside, and then gets bumped back inside. It's the position flexibility. But I think for his future and his career, his experience of both playing inside and outside, and it changed from week to week, series to series, it's really going to help him moving forward in his career. But it's like I've been saying it all year long. This rookie class is special, the way they work and the way they've improved. So give the coaches also a lot of credit for helping these players develop.
Let's switch our attention to the Saints, Coach. They're hot. I know their record's 5-10, but they've won 3 straight games. They've won 4 of their last 6. I mean, 1 at the Panthers, 1 at the Bucks, beat the Panthers again, and are coming off a 29-6 win against the New York Jets. There's another team that is a young football team that's developing and getting better. Tell us about the challenge this week.
Well, I haven't watched any, to be honest with you, I haven't watched any film yet because of it's early, and we're just getting going. But it's a great example, very similar to ours, when you just keep going. You keep working. You keep plugging along. It's the first year for these guys in New Orleans in a system with a good coaching staff, of them kind of learning a little bit about each other. They've had a quarterback change, late in the season, and now you see that paying off for them with a young player playing also. But just by their record, the past month of the season, obviously they're doing things the right way. They've all bought in. So we've got to go out there this weekend and play our best game and build off of what we've been doing the past couple weeks also.
I've really been impressed by how you've made a few tweaks to the schedule to get better performance out of your team. Any tweaks this week with it being Christmas?
Yeah, it was an easy decision. A couple weeks ago when Kevin and I kind of sat down and outlined the schedule moving forward for the next couple weeks, we got to this week, and it was easy to say, okay, hey, let's let the players be off on Christmas. And we actually talked to the captains about it also, and they had a huge smile on their face, so I knew we were doing the right thing. But I think with the type of players and the way these players have worked, I've got no question in my mind that they'll be focused and be ready to roll with the way the schedule's going to be. So we'll practice Tuesday and Wednesday. They'll be out of here mid-afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas with their families. As everybody knows, I'm a big family guy, and with my kids being 26 and 23 now, I remember the days when my kids were young and they grow up fast. So it's a great opportunity, not just for the coaches and players, but everybody in the organization to get away and enjoy time with their family, because it's special to be able to sit with your kids. Certain families have kids in from college, things like that. So the extra X number of hours, it's amazing in how happy people are when they found out this schedule. It's just because they get to spend it with their kids and their families, and that's what life's all about.
Amen to that. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you and all of our fans out there. Everyone have a great Christmas. Enjoy your families. And let's go get another win this week.
Thank you, Coach McCoy.
Thank you.
All right, more coming up on Monday Night Titans.
At Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee, we've called this state home for generations, which means we've been helping folks protect what matters most for over 75 years. Whether it's your car, your home, or the life you're securing, we're here with coverage that fits Tennessee. So if you're new to the area or just new to us, we're here with service that makes you feel right at home. Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Tennessee Insurance for Tennessee life. Get a quote from us today at FBITN.com.
In the heart of every community, caring comes naturally. At Farm Bureau Health Plans, we're not just a health plan provider. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your partners in health. With us, you are more than just a member. You are a valued part of our Farm Bureau family. Together, we care. Together, we grow. Together, we thrive. Farm Bureau Health Plans, where your health is our commitment. Plan on us. Visit us at fbhp.com/together. That's fbhp.com/together.
What's the mark of a great team? When talent, experience, and preparation all come together to make it look easy. It's true in football. It's true in banking. Titans Checking from Pinnacle with convenient online banking and world-class service. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Titans checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit of at least $300 by January 30th. And you could get a $200 Titans Team Store gift card. Details at titansbanking.com. Member FDIC.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
News from the locker room to the playing field and beyond. You're listening to Monday Night Titans, presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. This is Titans Radio.
Are you in the market for a newer used car? Visit Toyota Cleveland, right off exit 20 off I-75. Experience the power and reliability of every new Toyota designed with you in mind. And here's the great news. Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our comprehensive, no-cost maintenance plan for 2 years or 25,000 miles. Plus, enjoy the peace of mind with no-cost roadside assistance for 2 years and unlimited miles. Don't miss out on exceptional deals and the best customer service in town. Drive your dream Toyota today at Toyota Cleveland, where your journey begins. Toyota Cleveland, your destination for you and your care.
From the job site to the showroom, Wholesale Supply has the top brands you trust at the prices that work for your bottom line. With over 30 locations across the Southeast and over 75 years of service, no one supports our contractors and communities like we do. Wholesale Supply, built to supply, trusted to deliver.
Start the new year strong at the Y, the Something for Everyone place. From group exercise and swim lessons to personal training and child watch, there's something for every age and goal. At the Cleveland Family YMCA, you'll find a new wellness center, family and youth programs, and a supportive staff and community. Make this place your place for movement, connection, and a fresh start. Join New Year's Day and get January free, plus $0 join fee all January. Visit clevelandtnymca.org.
Allsafe Storage and Ed Brown remind you to be generous, find a need, and give of your time, talent, and treasure to accomplish a good work. You will receive much more than you give. This message from Allsafe Storage. Visit allsafetn.com.
Heights. Speaking in public, the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Here on Monday Night Titans, it's time for the Titans Time Machine with Rhett Bryan. Rhett, I've got 3 things for you this week. First, December 21st, 2025. I'd like you to give me your thoughts on yesterday.
Well, first of all, that is a good time machine moment. It was just
great to see the culmination of all the hard work from all these rookies and just everything. As much stuff as this team has been through, as many adversities they've had to try to overcome, just to see all that work and all these guys basically just grow up together, it was awesome. I mean, here's Cam Ward just dealing. And we've watched this over the last handful of weeks. And just to see how comfortable he's getting, operating the pocket, operating the offense, it's encouraging. And it's the best Christmas present I could ever ask for.
Amen to that. It was a lot of fun, and really enjoyed every single second of it in Nissan Stadium. Was so glad for all of the fans, all the Titans fans, that they got to see a home victory, and hopefully they get to see one more coming up on Sunday. Okay, 2 more dates to go over. December 22nd, 1998, 27 years ago today, Oilers owner K.S. Bud Adams unveils new Tennessee Titans logo and colors, featuring the fire of the Titans, exemplifying power, strength, knowledge, and excellence. He said, quote, "I feel we have developed a logo that fans throughout the state of Tennessee and around the country will embrace for years to come." That certainly was the truth. I know you remember that. 27 years ago today, Rhett.
Very cold day in Nashville, unlike what we're going to have in Nashville this week for the holidays, and very close to the steps of the Parthenon that sits on just off of West End there in West Nashville, because Nashville was dubbed many years ago the Athens of the South. And so very appropriate that Greek mythology would work into this. And, you know, he was obviously a founder of the American Football League and the New York Titans before they became the Jets in their 3rd or 4th year of existence. That name was sitting on the shelf, and with the league's blessing and the Jets ownership group, that kind of became the thing. And, you know, we're the Fireball and the 3 stars, East, Middle, and West Tennessee, and Prometheus, the great god of fire, the Titan of fire. It all kind of worked into place, and that was the precursor to 25 plus years of some wild, crazy moments, highs, lows, and everything in between.
That's right. All right, one last one for you. December 25th, 2000, Christmas Day, the Titans clinched the AFC Central Division Championship with a 31-0 Christmas victory over the Dallas Cowboys, earning a 13-3 record for the 2nd consecutive season and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Talk about a Christmas gift, Brett. How about that?
Yeah, and in prime time, another very cold night. And this is, mind you, this is at the end of Troy Aikman's career. He had been shut down due to multiple things. And so Anthony Wright is the quarterback for the Cowboys that night. And the Titans defense makes it tough on him. In fact, Keith Bullock, who is about to finish his rookie year at this point, gets his first pick 6, takes it to the house, and you see the final score. It was a drubbing, and quite honestly, that's a year I think they'd all like to have back, because that was the year they thought they should have won the Super Bowl. And then the Ravens came in and said something else about it. But that night on primetime football against America's team, air quotes over here, that was one no one could forget.
Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Thanks for always going through the Titans time machine with us.
I'm glad to do it. Merry Christmas to you and to all of our great listeners on Titans Radio.
Will Bowling's going to tell us about the game after Christmas in Nissan Stadium against the New Orleans Saints coming up next on Monday Night Titans.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The Titans style of smash mouth football is built in hard-fought practice. Drill after drill after drill. The same goes for Nissan's lineup of vehicles. Thousands of hours of testing. Mile after mile after after mile. That's why Nissan is #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year.
Did you know at this very moment, our state roadways and waterways are cluttered with over 88 million pieces of litter, and the Tennessee Department of Transportation spends over $35 million annually to clean it up? It's time to tackle this issue head on. Go to NobodyTrashesTennessee.com to learn how you can join the movement and be a part of the winning team in the fight against litter, because in Tennessee, we're not just champions on the field. We're champions for a cleaner state. November is National Veterans and Military Families Month, and to honor our heroes, Tennessee State Parks invites veterans to camp for free on their service branch birthdays in November and December, and receive a free round of golf. Go to tnstateparks.com/aboutveterans for dates and more information. Veterans can also receive half off on camping reservations through February. For more information on discounted rates and complimentary offers, go to tnstateparks.com/aboutveterans.
Breaking down the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Monday Night Titans on Titans Radio. Presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. Returns in 2 minutes. This is Titans Radio.
Ho, ho, ho. This is Trade-In Clause at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway. We don't care if your old car is bad or good, naughty or nice. At Kia Cleveland, we will give you up to $8,000 over Kelley Blue Book market value. Listen up, boys and girls. Hundreds of new Kias have just arrived from the North Pole, and prices are so low, we can only show you in person. Is your credit on the naughty list? That's okay. The credit elves can make your Christmas wishes come true. Trade your old sleigh today, and Kia Cleveland will pay you up to $8,000 over Kelley Blue Book market value. That's right. Up to $8,000 more than any trade in any condition. And we'll buy your car for cash, even if you don't buy a car from us. Come see me, John Davis. Trade-In Clause during the Kia Season of New Tradition sales event at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where trading your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Negative trade equity finance when new loan subject to lender approval. Expires month end. KiaofCleveland.com.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your winter with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft, buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. Cozy up to the goodness of the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
From the job site to the showroom, Wholesale Supply has the top brands you trust and the prices that work for your bottom line. With over 30 locations across the Southeast and over 75 years of service, no one supports contractors and communities like we do. Wholesale Supply, built to supply, trusted to deliver.
Don't miss the year-end sales event going on now at Cleveland Ford. Right now, take home select new 2025 Ford models with 0% APR for 60 months and no monthly payments for 90 days. Plus, get $500 more for your trade. This deal won't last forever, so shop ClevelandFord.com today. Home of the $39 oil change. $16.67 per $1,000 finance for well-qualified buyers financing with dealer. Example down payment 18%. Plus tax, tag, title, and $799 dealer fee. See dealer for details. Ends January 5th, 2026.
Stadium. He's in the booth with us in booth 7, and I know that you love that 26-9 victory by the Titans over the Kansas City Chiefs, Will.
Taylor, it was great. A great day in Nissan Stadium, a great day for this team, a great day for Cam Ward. And you look at his progression really over these last 6 games since the bye week, and just the overall maturity that he's showing against a defense called by one of the best in Steve Spagnuolo that blitzes you the second you get out of your car at the stadium, Taylor. To have the level of success that he did yesterday, really, really exciting. And I know the Titans fans feel that way on this Victory Monday.
And look, I know the Kansas City Chiefs aren't the same football team without Pat Mahomes. Gardner Minshew got injured in the game. Chris Oladokun is playing quarterback. I think Chiefs fans and everybody in the NFL had to scratch their heads a little bit watching that, because that's not what usually they get with the Chiefs. But make no mistake, regardless of the opponent, to see the Titans that committed to winning this late in the season. And as Coach McCoy said earlier in the show, Will, It says a lot about a team with this record to show that sort of commitment in every single phase.
It definitely does, and I think you look at veterans like Jeffrey Simmons leading the way to the young players, not even really the rookies. I mean, you look at the performance that James Williams Sr. had yesterday, filling in for the injured Cedric Gray. And I know Mike McCoy mentioned him meeting with the media after the game and earlier today, this morning, over at the facility. I mean, just amazing the next man up mentality that defense has had to have.
Yeah.
Let's just start there besides Cam Ward. I mean, I was given sideline reports to you in Santa Clara, it seemed like every 5 minutes, about another safety being hurt, and the unluckiness of that game and of that performance by the defense being able to turn around to the next man up mentality, like Truman Jones having a sack, having a blocked punt, to go with the mainstays we've seen, like Jihad Ward, like Jeffrey Simmons, who have been so consistent. So much to like about this game and his performance. And I loved what Jeffrey Simmons said after the game, talking about, this is why I want to stick around, and this is why I want to take ownership of this franchise moving forward. And a conversation he had with Cam Ward after the game, and that's exciting. That is the arrow pointing up at the end of the season, and that's what we really wanted and needed to see at the end of 2025. Is the stock price of Tennessee Titans football rising in December and into January, and over these last 3 games where you've won 2 games and put yourself in position to play 2 more really good teams at the end of the season and have another signature win, you're trending in the right direction. That's a really good thing for this team right now.
Well, and I love that you just referenced that, because as Amy Wells and I discussed earlier in this program, that was my very favorite part of the entire day, Will, is what Jeff Simmons said in his post-game remarks. And for your best player to say that and say why he's made such a commitment to this team, that's big-time reason for optimism. Now, one of the hottest teams in the National Football League is coming to Nashville this weekend. And you would say, hold on, Taylor, they're 5-10. The New Orleans Saints have won 3 straight games, Will. They beat the Tampa Bay Bucks on the road. They swept the Carolina Panthers. They've won 4 of their last 6 games. They obviously just beat the hapless Jets in their most recent performance. But this is a team that really turned a corner in the last month. What are the Titans getting when the Saints come to town for the last home game of the year?
Yeah, they're seeing another rookie quarterback that's playing well and giving his franchise hope for the future. Tyler Shuck has been excellent now, going 4-3 in his first 7 starts. In this game yesterday against the Jets, 32 of 49, 308, his first 300-yard passing game, 89.5 quarterback rating. He's averaging over 10 yards per completion already this season. He's been sacked 25 times in those 7 games. There are certainly still vulnerabilities, but in this game against the Jets, against Aaron Glenn's defense, the Saints scored on 7 of 11 possessions. Taysom Hill, who I think Taylor will probably be driving the bus when the Saints get to Nissan Stadium, because he does everything for the New Orleans Saints. Had 78 scrimmage yards in this game, had a touchdown pass late. Chris Olave has really broken back out as a wide receiver 1 with the better quarterback play to get him the football. He's at 92 catches on the season, which is a career high, 79 yards away from a career high in total receiving yards. He was really, really good. 10 catches, 148, 2 touchdowns. He's the guy the Titans have really got to circle when the Saints have the football. How do you take away a number 1 receiver, which, Taylor, to me, is the next step for this Titans defense? Can you start to get enough pressure to disrupt the timing of an offense to where that number 1 wide receiver doesn't have a good day against you? That's something I'm really watching and something I'd love to see this defense do Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, when we looked at this game, a couple of months ago, Will, we thought, okay, a lot of people thought this is going to be the game that determines who the number 1 seed is, or the number 1 pick, rather, in the NFL draft. And that's nowhere close to the case now. The Titans obviously have won 2 of their last 3. As we mentioned, the Saints have won 4 of their last 6. And, the winner of this game is, if the Titans win the game, they have 4 wins. If the Saints win, suddenly they have 6 wins. And there's a bunch of other teams that are going to be drafting in front of the Saints and the Titans now. And as I said, Will, on the broadcast, I'd be interested to get your thoughts. I think winning games for these 2 teams late in this season is really going to help them more than any earlier draft pick would in 2026.
I totally agree. And to be honest with you, when you look at a lot of the contending teams around the NFL right now, how many of them are consistently picking in the top 10, right? I mean, you're looking at a Philadelphia Eagles defense that's built with SEC defensive players that were drafted in the 20s and the 30s. Your job is to take what you are given at the end of the season and make the most of it. Your job as a front office is not to set yourself up to always be picking in the top 10, because let's face it, a lot of these teams that are around the Titans right now are consistently there. Cleveland has been consistently there. The New York Jets, that there is no guarantee that picking high in the NFL draft is going to guarantee you a good roster. What guarantees you a good roster is just consistently drafting good players, regardless of where you are drafting them. And that's something that Mike Borgonzi, Chad Brinker, and this front office did in the 2025 NFL draft. Absolutely, I agree with you. I think that these players that are currently on the team getting better is priority one. Then we can start talking about players that aren't on the team yet, making this team better. But if the Titans win football games down the stretch because Cam Ward completes 75% of his passes, throws a couple of touchdowns, and doesn't turn the football over, I'm never going to call that a negative in any context. Yes, this offense will have more reinforcements in 2026. Yes, there's cap money to be spent, draft capital to be used. We'll worry about that in 2026 once Cam Ward can put the very best film that he is capable of putting on film on the football field, and hopefully starting this upcoming Sunday again against the Saints.
Titans fans certainly got an early Christmas present with that complete performance over the Chiefs. I know they would love to get another one this Sunday. Cannot wait to call the game with you, my friend, at 12 o'clock Central Time. Pregame show starting at 11. You can listen locally on 104.5 The Zone, and certainly on all these Titans radio affiliates across the region this Sunday in the Titans' final home game for the Titans finish the season at the Jacksonville Jaguars and try to wreck the Jaguars, whether that's winning the division or playoff chances. That'll be a lot of fun to call that last game on the road before the season concludes.
Merry Christmas to you, Taylor, to all of our listeners. Enjoyed that Christmas gift yesterday quite a bit, and a Happy New Year gift for us. So hopefully coming up this upcoming Sunday.
Happy holidays to everyone, whether it's the end of Hanukkah for you tonight or Merry Christmas to you coming up this week. Please know how much we appreciate each and every one of you. For Will Bowling, for Rhett Bryan, for Amy Wells, for Mike McCoy, I'm Taylor Zarzer. Thank you for listening to Monday Night Titans.
This has been Monday Night Titans on Titans Radio, presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. When it's game day for your health coverage, trust Farm Bureau Health Plans to draw up the winning play. They've been backing Tennesseans for almost 80 years. For all the latest on your Tennessee Titans, follow us on X @Titans Radio. This is Titans Radio.
This is SportsCenter. I'm Ed Bankin. College Bowl action continues on this day before Christmas Eve at the New Orleans Bowl on ESPN Radio and ESPN. They're late in the second quarter. It is Southern Miss leading Western Kentucky 7-6. Earlier at the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl was Louisville defeating Toledo 27-22. Coming up later tonight, the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl in Texas. Ohio University battling UNLV. It will kick off at 9 Eastern. All of today's bowl games can be seen on ESPN. To the NFL, where sources have told ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, San Francisco tight end George Kittle has a mid to low ankle sprain suffered in last night's win over Indianapolis. Vikings will be without quarterback J.J. McCarthy for their Christmas game against the Lions. He's dealing with a hairline fracture in his right hand. While ESPN's Ben Solak talked about what's going wrong in Detroit.
Short story is injury. They had a lot of issues. The left guard spot, 4 different centers have played for them this season. So interior pass protection, it matters for all teams, but it really matters in Detroit because their quarterback is Jared Goff. And Goff, for all of his talent, for all of his improvement, is not a mobile quarterback.
The Lions still have a slim chance to make the postseason, but they need to win out and get help. The Jets have placed Justin Fields in injury reserve. He's dealing with a knee injury. Browns coach Kevin Stefanski said Deshaun Watson will not be activated. Also, the selections of the Pro Bowl games have been announced. The Ravens, Broncos, 49ers, and Seahawks are each sending 6 players. The Eagles, Cowboys, Lions, and Chargers had 5 players selected. Baseball news, ESPN's Jeff Pass reporting the Pirates and first baseman Ryan O'Hearn have agreed to a 2-year deal. The deal is worth $29 million.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. We hope you're enjoying a long holiday week. We're back Monday with Kurt Warner to break down NFL Week 17. Plus, I'll preview the college football playoff quarterfinals. That and more on The Rich Eisen Show on Disney+, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to First Draft. This is a very special edition, one that we have been looking forward to for weeks because Young Fielding has a brand new mock draft that is available everywhere today, and we are going to break it up into 2 pieces. We're going to do the top 10 picks in today's episode, and then next week we will do the remainder of round 1. But Field, before we get started, I believe as we see what Mel is wearing, this was a very difficult weekend for Mel. His Ravens got, in the view of many, completely screwed on a bad call in the end zone. Now he's wearing his Notre Dame quarter zip in honor of the Irish, who are not going to the playoff and not even going to a bowl. Field, what words of consolation can you offer for your mentor, Mel Kiper, during this difficult week?
Well, here's the most important part. We've buried the lead here, is that Mel got a haircut over the weekend as well. And I would argue that somehow, more so than wine, and I'm about 20 feet away from my wife's wine collection. She went to Napa Valley about a month ago, and I think I'm now broke as a result of that. Mel is aging better than wine. That hair is A+ today. If I could do a mock draft that included Mel's hair, it's going number 1 overall. We might have a team trading up from pick 100 and sending 3,000 extra first-round picks to get that number 1 selection because the hair, Mel, is on point.
Jeremiah Love had more rushing yards than I have hair, okay? So bottom line is, as far as the number goes, but I got my college football season ruined. I got my NFL season ruined. I got my holiday season, bah humbug. I mean, come on. I got it's all festive here. Christmas is only days away, and here we are ruining my end of the football season, both college and pro. What could be worse than that in terms of my enjoyment of football coming down the stretch at the most important time? We had a playoff team with Notre Dame. We had a playoff team within the division with the Baltimore Ravens, and now it goes poof, gone.
Let's give waste no more time, and let's dive right into that. A reminder, we're First Drafter with you every Wednesday throughout the entire football season on the NFL on ESPN YouTube channel, on ESPN2 that day, wherever you get your podcasts. And then once we get into the new year, we'll be coming at you twice a week throughout what amounts to the draft season. But these are the really big days because we got a mock draft today. This is Fields Mock 2.0. So in my role as the commissioner, I am officially declaring Fields Mock Draft 2.0 for the 2026 NFL Draft officially open. I'll pause for the booing, as Roger always does, and then I will point out that these are, as we speak, the teams that would select 1 through 10 in the draft. Obviously, all of this is subject to significant amounts of change, but if the season ended as we are recording this conversation, the draft order in the top 10 would be as follows. The Giants at 1. The Raiders at 2, the Titans at 3, the Browns at 4, Saints 5, Commanders 6, Jets 7, Cardinals 8, the Rams, in an unbelievable trade, got this pick from the Falcons. The Rams right now would have the 9th pick in the draft, and the Bengals would be picking at 10. So as I open the draft, I can immediately set this place abuzz. People are losing their minds. Shefty is going crazy because right off the bat, Field is projecting a trade. Field, what are the details of the trade you have with the number 1 pick in this mock?
Well, this morning when he was on his morning run, Darren Muji, the Jets GM, happened to run across Joe Shane, the Giants GM, and they said, let's make a deal because the Giants at 2-11 with the number 1 overall pick would not pick number 1 if things finish this way. Not because they wouldn't have the pick, but because they already have a quarterback Oh, by the way, they also double-dipped. They got the number one pass rusher in the draft last season. It's basically been quarterback or pass rusher going number one overall for the better portion of the past 20 years. So the Jets, who, as a reminder, own not just their own first-round pick this year, and, of course, the Indianapolis Colts pick this year and next year, and the Dallas Cowboys draft picks, first-round draft picks, the draft pick in a future year as well. So the Jets have 5 first-round picks in the next, or 6 first-round picks in the next 3 years. Do I have that number correct? Yes, I do. They have the flexibility to do whatever they would like, or at least make offers that could entice other teams. And no team, I would argue right now, is more desperate for a quarterback than the New York Jets. So the Jets move up. This deal would involve pick number 7 going to the Giants and pick number 17 going to the Giants. That is the Colts pick sent to the Jets, plus more. Let's be honest. If they make this move from 7 to 1, it's going to be expensive. And the Jets take, without further ado, quarterback Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. Perhaps the Heisman Trophy winner this upcoming Saturday night, the man who threw more passing touchdowns or has more passing touchdowns this season than any other player in FBS, the man who has 3 separate games with 90% or more or higher completion percentage, Fernando Mendoza, who showed off his toughness, who showed off his poise, and frankly his arm talent against Ohio State. The numbers aren't going to blow you away. Fernando Mendoza, though, against what is the best defense in the country, or along with maybe Georgia's defense, more than stood the test. I thought Mendoza had a signature performance last Saturday night. Was it perfect? No. But there was a world in which, hey, you know what? Things might go terribly, and he might throw 3 picks, and he might throw for 120 yards and no touchdowns. And people are saying to themselves, how can this guy be the number 1 pick? That was not the case on Saturday night. The biggest win in Indiana's history. They're the number 1 team in the college football playoff. I believe Fernando Mendoza is worthy of the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, and I think it would get down to, obviously, Dante Moore quarterback argument. But in that game against Ohio State, Caden Curry hit Fernando Mendoza, like a hit that you don't usually see somebody come get back from. When he was down.
The first play of the game.
You're worried about shoulder, concussion. Yeah,
ribs.
You're worried, is he going to get back on the field in this game? Is it going to be his brother out there playing quarterback? Yeah. You know, what's going to happen now in terms of Indiana in this particular game? He went out for 1 play, I believe, right? 1 play.
1 play out.
He's right back in. And to be able to perform the way he did against this defense that has stars at every line of defense, and Matt Patricia coordinating it, and to make – he had his Heisman moment. He definitely had his Heisman moment. Yep. So, to me, Fernando Mendoza, I got 30-plus starts. Dante Moore doesn't have that number, anywhere close to that number. And, of course, that's a decision made whether he can go back to Oregon or come into the draft. Fernando Mendoza, certainly, based on what we saw all year, the improvement in terms of not taking sacks, cut that number down dramatically from what it was at Cal to what it was this year at Indiana. And that instinctual ability, when he's moving the field in Greeny, he's seeing things late. I mean, he's spotting things late. And his vision and the way he sees the field and the way he reacts to things and gets the ball out is very impressive. So for me, I have no issue at all with Fernando Mendoza, going this high, number 1 overall via the trade, as you suggest, Field, because, like I say, the experience that he benefited from showed up in those tough games. Well, maybe he wasn't having a great game, but even against Iowa, he made those big throws that he needed to make. So every game where it wasn't perfect, when he needed to show up big, he did.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think that it's important to note also the other side of this equation is the trade, right? And this is the measuring that the Jets have to do at some point over the next 5 months is, one, if they end up picking not in the first 3 to 4 selections, 5th, 6th, or 7th, or something like that, is there a player that they deem worthy of trading up for? Because just because Mel and I like Fernando Mendoza enough to go number 1 overall, the Jets may not feel that way. 2, what's the cost? While the Jets have the resources and the assets to move up, if they do, that's going to deplete some of those assets. It's not an all-in move, but obviously it changes their flexibility going forward. And then 3 is part of the equation is not just the draft class this year, but also how they evaluate future quarterback draft classes as well. Because while we agree they need a quarterback at some point soon, the Jets may say, we really like Fernando Mendoza, but we've already got 3 guys that are eligible to come out next year that we are smitten by. That's why your road scouts are not just looking at players that are eligible this year when they travel the country for hours upon hours upon hours during the fall. They're also evaluating future year draft classes and deciding, if we bypass a quarterback now, Are we going to be satisfied if we end up in a similar spot next year? All of those factors will play into the Jets' willingness or interest in trading up.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
This is an opportunity for Jordan Love to make a statement about what his tenure as a Green Bay Packers quarterback is going to be all about. Are you going to wilt when the pressure is at its greatest, or come through like your predecessors? Your franchise quarterback has got to step up and be the reason why you win games and not the reason your team doesn't have a chance in the end.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Your new home for 24-hour sports coverage. ESPN Cleveland 1013. From the Alon Planning Partners Weather Center, here's your forecast on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Visit them online at alonplanning.com or give them a call at 423-315-1441.
Near record highs in the low to mid 70s with mostly cloudy skies Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Friday, and Saturday. We're going to have a high of 70 on Sunday with rain moving in Sunday evening into Sunday night. Behind that rain, much colder air moves in next week. Monday, we'll have a low of 29 and a high of only 39. Download the Local 3 weather app, free for iPhone and Android. I'm Chief Meteorologist David Carnes for the Local 3 Storm Alert Team.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks. Take ESPN Cleveland 1013 with you wherever you go. Listen online at ESPNCleveland1013.com. Presented by Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics.
Did you know that Tennessee does not yet have a specialty license plate for childhood cancer awareness? You can help us change that. We need 1,000 Tennesseans to pre-order the Childhood Cancer Awareness license plate. My name is Caroline, and I'm a childhood cancer survivor. I can tell you it would mean a lot to all the kids currently battling to see these gold ribbon tags on cars all over our state. Please help us increase awareness for childhood cancer by reserving your license tag today at childhoodcancertntag.com.
ESPN Cleveland 1013 is powered by Duracell.
Hey, this is Alfonso, the general manager of Crown Cleveland, your local home for Jeep and Ram. I'm here to announce that we have revamped our express lane. We are fully staffed and ready to take care of all your quick lube and oil needs. Please Google Crown Cleveland and see our great service specials.
Don't miss the Paul Feinbaum Show, weekday afternoons from 2 until 5 on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Always topical, always entertaining. Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 1013, presented by Hardees.
Welcome to Mountain View Nissan Country, where automotive excellence is our top priority. At Mountain View Nissan, we take pride in offering you the finest selection of vehicles.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks.
Because the franchise has been trying so long and so hard and frankly so badly to finally find the guy who will rescue them. And they've tried high in the draft, as you guys obviously well know, in recent years, Sam Darnold at 3 overall and Zach Wilson at 2 overall. The post-game interview that Fernando Mendoza did after the Big Ten championship game went super viral. and his I'm going to use the word high-strung personality. I want to make it clear. I've never met Fernando Mendoza in my entire life, and I'm happy for him, and I wish him absolutely nothing but success. But there was a very high-energy sort of quality about his personality that would make me a little nervous if I'm the New York market, because what you need is you need this to work in this market. See Manning, Eli.
Yeah.
And
or Jackson Dart
has said many times, the great Archie Manning has said, I don't know that Peyton would have succeeded as well in New York because he's very high strung and things get to him. And Eli, meanwhile, is very calm and able to sort of weather storms. And just based on that, I wonder if how does that, his personality, which again, I hope it does not sound like I'm being critical of it because I'm not.
No.
But how does his personality factor into something like the New York of it all?
Wait, I said no there, Greeny, almost dismissively. And I apologize if it came across as towards you, because I think it's not. I'm saying no as in like people can't ignore that dynamic. Think about how I feel like Sam Darnold has talked about his post-New York football career and how comfortable he's felt. And think about the places he's been since New York, right? He was in Carolina, which things didn't go well there, but it's a different market compared to New York. He went to San Francisco as a backup, not much spotlight there, and then Minnesota, where he had this remarkable season, and now Seattle. Those aren't tiny cities, but they're not New York. It's definitely part of the equation. Fernando Mendoza is not wired the same way as Jackson Dart. That's the most recent example of a quarterback who seems very equipped for New York. That's one of those things that I've spent time asking around on. I don't know that I could have a perfect feel for it absent having a lot of time with the individual myself. I don't know if Mel feels differently or strongly one way or the other, but that'd be something that in our role, I'm not sure we're as equipped to answer with confidence as those who are actually pulling the levers within NFL offices.
Yeah, what Mendoza went into at Indiana was a team ready to make another run. And the pressure that he had to feel coming from Cal to Indiana, where he had to improve on some things. Kurt Sig talked about that. Bottom line is the pressure was there. He responded to it. He obviously galvanized that team. Everybody came together. And he also had to deal with Surratt being not out there every week, the top receiver. And, you look at what he was able to do under pressure and the energy he brought. And I agree that's what I say. He's a kid who really competes hard. He always says, it's a process, trying to figure out, crack the code. He's really into studying this thing. He works super hard. He does have that Peyton Manning, I got to know everything that everybody's doing. I want to be obviously the guy that can direct everybody and not, that's no stone unturned. He wants to know everything going into that game. So again, if you look at what you were talking about, Dante Moore, you can't tell if they're down by 14, up by 30. I mean, if it's a pressure situation or it's an easy situation where they're in a route, Dante Moore is the same. I mean, he is unflappable. We talked about him all year. What he had to deal with in some games with weather or injuries all around him, be it wide receiver, tight end, whether it was the O-line, it didn't matter. He was still out there. And when he needed to play big, he did. But you didn't see it. The demeanor never changed. He's not that, where Fernando is going to give you all that, where Dante Moore is going to be more level all the way across. And so maybe for New York, and we don't know what Dante Moore's going to do, okay? Ty Simpson has dropped back a bit. I think we can agree. Ty Simpson has dropped back. What was that argument? Which one of the three goes number one? We know it's now Moore, Mendoza, Moore. Simpson's back. I hope he goes back to Alabama. One season a starter with the uneven performances isn't enough. There's been excuses around Ty Simpson. We'll get that later on. But for this particular talking point about Mendoza Moore, it may end up being just Fernando Mendoza, the only quarterback in this draft that has that higher grade. If Moore decides to go back, if he comes out, that's still to be determined. I've been Moore slightly ahead of Mendoza. See all that speed. You were in Mendoza slightly ahead of Moore. That's going to have to play out between now and the draft if Dante Moore is in this draft, and then the Jets and teams are going to have to do their due diligence there and figure it all out. But I tell you what. That's going to be really interesting to see how that all is viewed in terms of, like you say, who's more equipped to deal with that pressure. And like I said, they had Sam Darnold and said, well, we're going to get better with Zach Wilson. How'd that work out? So the decision-making there. And also, let's face it, think of the Jets. I don't care if you put Joe Montana in his prime. Any quarterback in his prime with that New York Jets football team, particularly on the offensive side, I don't think any of them would be successful. So, I'm not going to get into who was unfairly treated or whatever, but whoever's playing quarterback with the Jets has been unfairly treated. Okay, that's the bottom line, because the infrastructure around the quarterback there, that's what we have to figure out, is the infrastructure all over the place going to be good enough for that quarterback, whoever it is, to succeed at a high level.
Well, this brings us perfectly to the second pick, which is in.
Yes.
The second pick in the draft is in. And in the Field Yates mock draft 2.0 for the 2026 draft, the Las Vegas Raiders do select Dante Moore, quarterback, Oregon. Field, tell us about it.
Yeah, let's start here, Greeny, and note that, like Mel said, we don't know that it's a lock that Dante Moore is going to be in the draft. I do continue to believe, though, that if he is projected to go in the first 2 to 3 picks, it's going to be awfully hard for him to say no to the NFL, even if Oregon can offer him a ton of money. Dante Moore came to college at UCLA as a phenom prospect out of the state of Michigan. He started 5 games as a true freshman. He sat behind Dylan Gabriel last year at Oregon as a true sophomore after transferring. This year he's taken over and he has broken out. He is a slender-bodied quarterback. He actually is pretty close to Jaden Daniels in terms of physical stature. 6'2", 206 pounds. Maybe a touch smaller, or I should say shorter than Jaden Daniels, but the same listed weight as Daniels was during his time at LSU. Not nearly as dynamic of an athlete as Jaden Daniels is, but athletic enough that he can be a force as a scrambler and also buy himself some extra time. He's very creative as a passer, and he is extremely accurate as well. Like Fernando Mendoza, also above 70% completion percentage for the season this year, and he's terrific on throws down the field. The Raiders are 2-11 now, and there are teams like the Titans who won on Sunday that I think win a couple of games at the end of the season does matter. You have to learn how to win. I'm not sure there is a team, and maybe people disagree with this, Mel might, that needs to lose games more down the stretch than the Raiders. And what I mean by that is they need a young quarterback so desperately. Given how old this roster is, with Geno Smith under center, they need a young quarterback so badly. And if we acknowledge that only one of these 3 is a lock to come out, and it might be 2 out of 3 at best, or it might be that only 2 out of these 3 quarterbacks that we have been talking about even merits top 5 pick consideration, the Raiders now sitting at pick 2. I know it hurts in the moment, but might be a very good thing for their future.
Yeah, and for Dante Moore, like I say, for the Raiders, you have to close that gap. I mean, we talked about the coaches in the division, the quarterbacks. You got to get that guy, whoever that is, and I think certainly. You talk about the Dome with the Las Vegas Raiders and playing in that situation there. You get the right quarterback. Obviously, will move you forward. They got Ashton Ginty last year thinking, hey, we got to improve this running game, which was non-existent, but the offensive line's been the issue. And obviously, you got a quarterback who's going to be 36 years of age. There's a lot of issues from a personnel standpoint that they got to improve with that Raider team, but it all begins and ends at quarterback. They got to identify the right guy and get that right guy. Obviously, if they're picking 2 and Moore is there for Las Vegas, it would be an obvious pick for me because there's nobody else to even consider. Ty Simpson maybe would have been a couple months ago, but right now it's all about, like I say, Mendoza and Moore.
Yep.
I will tell you that all of my Jet fan friends Field agree with you. They all want the Jets to get Mendoza. This will be fascinating, but one way or another, I really think the most important part of these exercises, especially this early in the process, is figuring out which players figure to be the names at the very top. And I think right there you have the 2 quarterbacks.
And one thing, just to put a period at the end of this, the 17 starts is what Dante Moore has right now. That number will go up, right? 17, 18, 19, hopefully for them 20. But that teen, when you're in the teens in terms of starts, that's not a good number to be in.
It could be 21.
History tells us that. So that would be the only red flag or concern if Dante Moore decides to come out is that limited number of starts.
Well, with all due respect, his 18th is going to be against James Madison, so he'd better get at least 19.
Yes, correct.
Seems very hard to imagine.
I like his odds, Greeny. I like his odds.
Hard to imagine he's not going to get to at least 19, and then we'll see what happens after that. Okay, so we've got the quarterbacks at the very top.
Yep.
On we go.
Yes.
With the number 3 pick, the Tennessee Titans, who, of course, drafted Cam Ward number 1 overall last year. The pick is in. The Tennessee Titans, with the number 3 pick in the Field Yates mock draft, select Arvell Reese, do everything defender, officially linebacker, Ohio State. Field.
Yeah, there's a case that Arvell Reese is the best player in the 2026 NFL draft. I may end up with either or both of the quarterbacks ahead of him because of the positional value that I believe so strongly in. That being said, Arvell Reese has had a breakout season. 6.5 sacks this year for Ohio State. He had a half a sack in his career. He was basically a backup for much of his career. His first 2 seasons in Columbus prior to this season. He was a stand-up inside linebacker for much of his career prior to this year. He played a ton on the edge this season. What I think makes him interesting, and I remember early on in the year saying to somebody, there's a little bit of the Jalen Walker dynamic in play, a guy who really breaks through during his final season of college when he transitions from linebacker to edge. The fundamental difference here is that Arvell Reese has excellent measurables as well. Measurables are not the only part of the equation, but remember, Jalen Walker went 16th last year, right? We were talking about him as a top 5, 6, 7 player at points during the pre-draft process.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
The new home for ESPN Radio is ESPN Cleveland 1013. From the Alon Planning Partners Weather Center, here's your forecast on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Visit them online at alonplanning.com or give them a call at 423-315-1441.
Near record highs in the low to mid 70s with mostly cloudy skies Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Friday, and Saturday. We're going to have a high of 70 on Sunday with rain moving in Sunday evening into Sunday night. Behind that rain, much colder air moves in next week. Monday, we'll have a low of 29 and a high of only 39. Download the Local 3 weather app, free for iPhone and Android. I'm Chief Meteorologist David Carnes for the Local 3 Storm Alert Team.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks. Take ESPN Cleveland 1013 with you wherever you go. Listen online at ESPNCleveland1013.com. Presented by Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. ESPN Cleveland 1013 has scored its very own app.
It shoots and scores.
With the ESPN app, you can listen live from anywhere. You'll get the links for the very latest sports news and information. Somebody made a huge trade? You'll know about it. Access to the latest scores and standings? You'll have it. Go to ESPNCleveland1013.com and download the brand new ESPN Cleveland 1013 app today at ESPNCleveland1013.com. ESPN Cleveland 1013 is powered by Duracell.
Hey, this is Alfonso, the general manager of Crown Cleveland, your local home for Jeep and Ram. I'm here to announce that we have revamped our express lane. We are fully staffed and ready to take care of all your quick lube and oil needs. Please Google Crown Cleveland and see our great service specials.
Your game week begins here with the players, the coaches, the experts. Big Orange talk and nothing but. This is Mike Keith, ready with your pregame scouting report from the people in the know. We break down every aspect, so you're ready for kickoff. Your pregame meeting happens here. Grab a chair, and let's talk some Big Orange football.
Listen to the Mike Keith Show, Thursdays at 3 p.m. on ESPN Cleveland 1013.
Welcome to Mountain View Nissan Country, where automotive excellence is our top priority. At Mountain View Nissan, we take pride in offering you the finest selection of vehicles.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks.
11-yard touchdown run. Chris Carlin with a call on ESPN Radio as Louisville wins at 27-22. Tonight's the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl in Texas as UNLV takes on Ohio University. All of today's bowl games can also be seen on ESPN. NFL news, sources have told ESPN's Jeremy Fowler 49ers tight end George Kittle did not suffer a high ankle sprain. Kittle instead suffered a mid to low ankle sprain in last night's win over Indianapolis. The Vikings will be without quarterback J.J. McCarthy for their Christmas game against the Lions. He has a hairline fracture in his right hand. The Jets have placed quarterback Justin Fields on injured reserve. He has been dealing with a knee injury. He will sit out the final 2 games of the season. Browns coach Kevin Stefanski says quarterback Deshaun Watson will not be activated before the end of the season. This despite Watson returning to practice this week. The selections for the Pro Bowl games have been announced. The Ravens, Broncos, and 49ers, along with the Seahawks, each are sending 6 players. Baseball news, ESPN's Jeff Passan reporting the Pirates and first baseman Ryan O'Hearn have agreed to a 2-year deal.
Hey, it's Aaron Goldhammer coming up on Wednesday on Unsportsmanlike. Many NFL teams have already been eliminated from playoff contention, but which one has the best chance to bounce back next year? We'll discuss on Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
The Titans very much need defensive cornerstones. Jeffrey Simmons, 6.5 sacks this year. He is a game-changing all-pro level defensive player, but they need more defensive front difference makers. Arvell Reese, who I would like to see be a pure edge rusher in the NFL, no playing both spots, play him as an edge rusher, a la Micah Parsons now with the Packers and with the Cowboys. Not that level, but that idea. I want to see him be a full-time edge rusher, Mel, but he is, to me, a lock, a slam dunk at number 3.
Yeah, real good. Speed to the football is remarkable. And what he did, he knew he would be that kind of player based on what we had seen, but this is the reloading that Ohio State was able to do on the defensive side of the ball, having a guy like this ready to get his chance to be the main entity, and Sonny Styles, former safety, there as well, and then have Caden McDonald and Caden Curry and those guys, and Kenyatta Jackson and Caleb Downs on the back end with Igbinosun. I mean, these guys all play.
Ridiculous.
And get them ready. Even though they may not start, they all play. And of course, Caleb Downs was a centerpiece of that defense at Alabama, then Ohio State. And then going to this year, we knew he'd be a real leader for that football team, which he's been. But certainly for Ohio State to have so many guys again after what we saw last year, and Reese to step up and play to the level we thought he would. We anticipated this could be the case in August, but to see him keep improving and you see that incredible talent and versatility each week, that's why he's way up there at the top of the draft board.
Okay, on we go. We have another nice social question here. This is from @Kyle Rawson, who tweets at us the question, will 2 Buckeyes go in the top 5? Well, Kyle, I'm glad you asked. With the number 4 pick in the 2026 Field Yates Mock Draft 2.0, the Cleveland Browns select Carnell Tate, wide receiver, The Ohio State University.
Yeah, Greeny, we got to fill our annual first-round wide receiver quota from Ohio State, right? We do that with Carnell Tate, who's had an excellent season this year, stepping into a larger role with Emeka Egbuka now playing in the NFL. Let me just start, before I get too much further into Carnell Tate and the Browns, and I think, Mel, once I wrap this up, you can respond. I believe at the very top of the draft right now on December 10th, it's sort of a 3-player tier in this regard. So you've got 2 quarterbacks that we believe are worthy of top 5 picks. Arvell Reese is the kind of player that you think is a top 5 pick. I'm not sure that Carnell Tate, I don't know if the gap is as narrow between Carnell Tate as I think it is between those top players in that first tier. I had some different thoughts about which direction do I go here at number 4 for the Browns. I would have loved an offensive tackle if there was one that I thought merited number 4 overall consideration. I go to Tate, though, who I think has not just a big ceiling, but also a high floor as a prospect as well. He's got very good size, listed at 6'3", 190 pounds, terrific route runner. He's got an amazing catch radius. He has a total of 0 drops this year, does Carnell Tate. He is the next product of, whether you want to call it Brian Hartline's mad scientist lab. He now the South Florida coach, but the longtime Ohio State wide receiver coach and this year offensive coordinator as well. He's just the next man up. He plays both on the perimeter, can play some of that big slot role as well. I mentioned the 17.5 yards per catch. He had a long touchdown against Michigan. He's just been excellent for Ohio State. Scored again this past Saturday night against Indiana. Just a great player who I think deserves to be in the first 10 picks. In this scenario, he goes number 4.
Yeah, Francis Mauigoa, the right tackle from Miami, is a guy. Field, I don't know where you're going to have him, but to watch him is entertaining.
Yeah,
and we go back, and I even said
it won't be long, Mel.
When Joe Thomas was at Wisconsin Field, he was an entertaining guy to watch. They brought him in, and he was like the 3rd pick overall. So for Mauigoa, I think you look at a guy who would make sense here because it was Shedeur Sanders, whose pocket, he's showing you some more maneuverability than a lot of people thought he had. We all thought he could move. Some people doubted that, but you can see the way he can move within the pocket. Actually had a rushing touchdown the other day. Bottom line is, when you had that type of quarterback and you have the accuracy and the arm strength that people question that he's shown, Carnell Tate would be a guy dependable. Okay, Jerry Jeudy has had some drops, but he's got talent. We know that. Jerry Jeudy was a great player at Alabama, 1st-round pick, all that. Harold Fannin Jr. has been a really good rookie tight end. Judkins and Sampson, 2 running backs, been really good, right? Sampson had the unfortunate fumble this past week. Bottom line is they've been really good. They catch the ball out of the backfield, Judkins, Wildcat, all that. Bottom line is the O-line is an issue. And that's an area where, with Shedeur, the O-line's got to get better, and they got to improve that talent base. That's why I think it's going to be that debate. You look at the number 1 receiver. If it ends up being Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson's had the injuries, but he would have been there, and he may still well be there.
He could be there.
Tyson's a really good player. I love Mekhi Lemon at USC as a slot guy, but I think when you look at Mauigoa from Miami, destructive run blocker, good in pass pro. I mean, you just lock him in, you put him out there and say, hey, we're good to go at that spot. We got a Pro Bowl caliber player. So when you got Shedeur showing what he's shown, and that was the only thing this past weekend, it made me happy. Ravens, Notre Dame, then Shedeur. Thank you, Shedeur.
No, the committee let you down, not Notre Dame. Yeah, the committee let you down.
Yeah, it's something to smile about. But in terms of the offensive line, I think it's going to be the debate field. Do we go offensive tackle or do we go wide receiver in Cleveland?
To Greeny's point, it's about sort of right now, it's more about getting the right players in the right sort of range of their picks. And we can debate, team needs. There's a whole lot. There's free agency, potential trades, et cetera, that will fill in some of these gaps before we get to April 23rd.
But we don't have to wait much longer to get to the player that Mel is talking about, because the pick is in. And with the number 5 pick in the 2026 Field Yates Mock Draft 2.0, the Saints do select Francis Mauigoa, the tackle from Miami.
Yeah, Big CC, which he has been excellent this season. Hear me out here, fans, because I know there are going to be some Saints fans that are like, didn't we just take an offensive tackle each of the first rounds the last 2 years? The answer is yes. Kelvin Banks last year settled in very nicely as a rookie left tackle. The year prior to that, Tali Fuaga, a right tackle from Oregon State. It's been solid. It's been okay from Fuaga. It has not been to the level that I'm sitting here saying to myself, all right, you know what? He is a fixture at the right tackle spot forever, and we have to ignore a guy who's a terrific, terrific player. Mauigoa, excellent power in the running game. He just mauls people when he gets his hands on them, and he's been excellent this year. He has been the top FBS offensive tackle in terms of pressure rate allowed. He is a dominant pass protector. I've got a question for you guys, too. How many good offenses are there with bad offensive lines in the NFL right now?
The answer is 0, right? And generally speaking, almost never.
And how many?
Can't beat them if you can't block them. No.
And in the inverse is, like, of the teams with good offensive lines, how many of them are just bad teams? So there's not many teams where, like, yeah, they're 3-10, but the offensive line is great. So Saints fans, I know maybe you're saying to yourself, can we take a wide receiver, Jeremiah Love, pass rusher? I'm okay with offensive line. I am very strong in my belief that there's no such thing as too much investment in those 5 positions.
You're kind of doing what Washington did on a D-line field. Remember, they went all D-line. Yeah. But an O-line is so critical, and I really believe everything breaks down if the line's, everything's ruined if the line's not getting it done. In Baltimore right now with the Ravens, what was the big issue all year? The offensive line, particularly the guard spots, right? Yeah. So you look at that and say, boy, you just can't get it done if your line's struggling. We talked about that in Cleveland. They got to have that fortress for Shedeur. You got to have that for Tyler Shuck.
He's been good recently. Yeah.
With Tyler Shuck in New Orleans. The running back, Jeremiah Love, is very tempting there. No question about that. But
Reggie Love 2.0, Reggie Bush 2.0, right?
Yeah, exactly. I had no problem with offensive line because, like I say, if Tyler Shuck is the guy moving forward, and he's shown glimpses that maybe he could be, just like Shedeur is doing the same thing in Cleveland, then you need to fortify that group. And we know, and I told you about why Mauigoa would make sense. CC, as you say, would make sense with Cleveland. For the same reasons he'd make sense for anybody picking in that top 4 to 10 range.
He could play guard, by the way, as well. If the Saints were firm in their belief that Fuaga is best settled as a right tackle, Mauigoa could play guard as well. He's got some snaps there. So, great player.
Jeremiah Love is a name people are asking about. We have Zach here who tweets at RugLife4. Will Jeremiah Love go in the top 10? That will be one of the really fascinating storylines when we get to the draft itself. We saw Ashton Genty sneak into the top 10 last year. We've seen Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs, difference-making players, sneak into the top 10 despite the fact that it's a position generally you don't like to use a pick that high on. So let's keep working our way through Zach RugLife4 and see where Field has Jeremiah Love. We are up to the 6th pick in this year's 2026 Field Yates Mock Draft 2.0. The Washington Commanders, who, boy, have the bottom fallen out on that team.
Yeah. Could this be it, Greeny? Could this be it?
It's terrifying to watch.
Yeah.
The new home for ESPN Radio is ESPN Cleveland 1013. From the Alon Planning Partners Weather Center, here's your forecast on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Visit them online at alonplanning.com or give them a call at 423-315-1441.
Near record highs in the low to mid 70s with mostly cloudy skies Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Friday, and Saturday. We're going to have a high of 70 on Sunday with rain moving in Sunday evening into Sunday night. Behind that rain, much colder air moves in next week. Monday, we'll have a low of 29 and a high of only 39. Download the Local 3 weather app, free for iPhone and Android. I'm Chief Meteorologist David Carnes for the Local 3 Storm Alert Team.
You're listening to Amber and Ian on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Game night is coming up. The ESPN Cleveland 1013 lineup is supplied by Wholesale Supply Group, wholesalesupply.us. Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks. Take ESPN Cleveland 1013 with you wherever you go. Listen online at ESPNCleveland1013.com. Presented by Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics.
Did you know that Tennessee does not yet have a specialty license plate for childhood cancer awareness? You can help us change that. We need 1,000 Tennesseans to pre-order the Childhood Cancer Awareness license plate. My name is Caroline, and I'm a childhood cancer survivor. I can tell you it would mean a lot to all the kids currently battling to see these gold ribbon tags on cars all over our state. Please help us increase awareness for childhood cancer by reserving your license tag today at childhoodcancertntag.com.
ESPN Cleveland 1013 is powered by Duracell.
Hey, this is Alfonso, the general manager of Crown Cleveland, your local home for Jeep and Ram. I'm here to announce that we have revamped our express lane. We are fully staffed and ready to take care of all your quick lube and oil needs. Please Google Crown Cleveland and see our great service specials.
Listen to the Alon Exchange, hosted by financial professionals Jay and Brittany Hagee, owners of Alon Planning Partners. Each week they discuss all things financial and answer your questions about investing, preparing for retirement, paying down debt, and more. The Alon Exchange, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on ESPN Cleveland 1013.
Welcome to Mountain View Nissan Country, where automotive excellence is our top priority. At Mountain View Nissan, we take pride in offering you the finest selection of vehicles.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks.
We haven't heard the name Ty Simpson. Is he a player you are considering as a draft quarterback in this year's class?
I am considering. I'm also having a hard time deciding whether he belongs in the first round. You'll have to we'll have to find out next week. So we're still working through some things in the
right there answers it, Phil. What you just said, you just answered the question. If I'm Ty Simpson and he's going to do all his father's a coach.
No, I'm with you.
with Nick Saban being somebody that's going to advise him. You just said it, Field. You don't know if he'll be worthy of being a first-round quarterback. Does he look like a first-round quarterback right now? No.
I mean, if you watch the game on Saturday night, you're probably saying, is this guy a day 3 quarterback?
A lot of games, like I say, uneven. The first half, second half were never working in unison. So, and it wasn't that consistency from first quarter against the AOGs, the college kids, right?
Correct.
So I think that answered the question. Ty Simpson needs to go back to Alabama.
Correct.
I guess I've given away that he isn't going to be either the 9th or 10th pick in this year's draft class, but I felt it was worth bringing up there. All right, we are at number 9. And again, the Los Angeles Rams, who got this pick, stole this pick, whatever term you want to use, in a trade with Atlanta last year. They are on the clock. And with the 2026 Field Yates Mock Draft 2.0 number 9 selection, the LA Rams take Caleb Downs, safety, Ohio State. So there is your third Buckeye in this year's top 9 picks.
Greeny, this question is exclusively for you because in the eyes of Mel Kiper Jr., trivia is trivial. Who was the last safety to be taken in the first 10 picks of an NFL draft? And you probably are better equipped to know this than most.
Is it no one since Jamal Adams, right? I know Jamal Adams was
6th overall in 2017. I begin there because a safety going in the top,
by the way, and turned him into 2 first-round picks. So it's hard to say that pick didn't work.
It worked out masterfully.
Flip him into 2 picks,
Yes. So I want to begin there because it's not common for a safety to go in the first 10 picks. Am I absolutely certain that Caleb Downs goes in the first 10 picks? I'm not. Not because of the player, who I don't think he's been as dominant this year as he was in 2024, but because of league history and tendencies. That being said, I think he's an unbelievable player. And the Rams are almost playing with house money with this pick, right? Like, if you're the Rams, your team, you might win the Super Bowl and pick in the top 10 this year. That feels unfair, right? This feels like Detroit Pistons having the number 2 pick after winning the NBA championship way back when. Don't bring up who they took number 2 overall, but the point was, like, you don't see this kind of stuff happen very often. Caleb Downs can do everything as a safety. He can do it all, right? He is an extremely violent hitter for a safety. He's got good ball skills. Way back against Grambling early on this season, he leaped like he was on a trampoline to snag an interception. Off the charts football IQ. I think he's a tone setter, which is very rare for a safety to be. So for the Rams, Cam Curl is going to be a free agent. You put Cam Kinchins and Caleb Downs together for a while. Sign me up right there.
Let me say one thing, guys. I think you look at this. This is a pick that was acquired via the James Pierce, right? James Pierce goes to
5 straight games with the sack.
James Pierce. He's getting some sacks now, by the way.
5 straight games with the sack.
Yeah, he's done a pretty good job coming off the edge. So, but for the Rams to be picking in the top 10, the one player that's going to be interesting, we talked about a little bit, and he's not off the board yet, is Jeremiah Love. Kyron Williams is a good back.
I thought about it now.
It's kind of like when Tyler Algier was in Atlanta, doing a good job, and then they drafted Bijan Robinson, I believe 8th overall, is where Bijan went, coming out of Texas, 8th overall pick. Jeremiah Love is an excellent receiver. That's why those Reggie Bush comparisons are there. Sean Payton, we talked about, what he could do. We got Sean McVay, all these coordinators, these guys that were the great offensive minds, and now they're head coaches, and Sean McVay, and all the guys like that say, okay, if I get a guy who can be, I think it was 7 games this year, he had a run of 36 or more yards. 2024, he had a run of 29 or more yards in like 8 games. He was at 6.9 a carry 2 years in a row. He doesn't fumble the ball, and he catches the ball very effectively out of the backfield. You can flank him out wide as well. That's going to be, for any of these guys that are saying, okay, and when you go to Washington, that's why I thought it would be tempting for them to maybe think about Jeremiah Love. Okay, how about this? What if, and I can't wait to see if you have him going, because I got a team out there that if they could get a Jeremiah Love, wow. But keep going. Let's go moving forward. But I think Jeremiah Love for the LA Rams, for Sean McVay, is going to be somebody's going to have to be in the discussion.
If you don't mind, allow me to spoil the 10th pick in this regard. It's not Jeremiah Love, okay? That's the Bengals at number 10.
You got to tell us where you have him.
Yeah. But okay, a few spots down.
Okay.
Let me say something. And I wrote this up in the piece on .com. I think by the time we get to the draft, Jeremiah Love will go inside the top 10 picks. The reason I say that and don't have him there now is because on December 10th, there are needs for these teams that I think are just harder to fill in the draft, right? So, for example, if there's a world in which the Commanders swing a trade for a nice pass rusher this offseason, or they sign somebody in free agency, sign me up there for the Washington Commanders, right? Like, I would love them there. You mentioned, like, any of those teams that we have talked about, if they do some business this offseason to check those needs off, I'd feel more comfortable with them taking a running back in April when of their top 5 most pressing needs, 3 have already been addressed. But when I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, like, man alive, Washington needs better pass protectors. They need better pass rushers. They need a corner. Like, at that point, I'm saying to myself, the value of other positions surpasses the value of a running back. We have seen teams do this recently. The Falcons have won nothing of consequence since Bijan Robinson went 8th overall. The Raiders this year are now 2-11 after taking Ashton Jeanty 6th overall. If you want to say, hey, the Lions have won a lot of games since Jahmyr Gibbs was taken in the first round, 12th overall, I'll remind you they had that pick because the Rams were 5-12 in 2022. That was part of the Matthew Stafford trade. They moved from 6 to 12 in the Arizona trade. Jahmyr Gibbs, like, they had the 18th pick in the draft that year. So if they had taken Jahmyr Gibbs at 18th, we wouldn't be talking about this as some premium level pick. So I just think the NFL has shown us time and again that no position is more replaceable than running back. And if I'm a team that's got 5 major needs, I do have to think about positional value before just taking the best player in terms of grade that season.
Well, we know who the 10th pick isn't, and we know that our friend Travis, who has been good enough to tweet at us, doesn't have a good feeling about it. At Travis-2470 tweets, are the Bengals going to blow this draft too?
I love the confidence, Travis.
With the 10th pick in the 2026 Field Yates Mock Draft 2.0, the Cincinnati Bengals select Ruben Bain Jr., pass rusher extraordinaire from the U.
Yeah, you know, Greeny, sometimes when you see a friend who breaks up with their significant other, the next person they date is somebody who's like extremely opposite of that person. They go from dating somebody extremely extroverted to introverted, loud to quiet, whatever it might be, right? Funny to more serious. The Bengals may need to follow that playbook this year because they took a big swing last year on Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M, who was the all-traits guy, right? Mel's captain of the LTPers squad. And he didn't have much impact at all as a rookie. As a matter of fact, he's now on injured reserve, going to miss the rest of the season. He wasn't doing much when he was actually on the field for Cincinnati. Ruben Bain, we're going to be talking a lot about a guy who might have sub 31-inch arms and may look like a square peg in a round hole compared to the prototypical edge rusher. Guy's a heck of a football player. The 2025 ACC Defensive Player of the Year, 2023 ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year. Very explosive, very powerful, tough guy to move around in the running game as well. At some point, you got to say, put the traits aside because our defense is awful. And Trey Hendrickson, going to be a free agent. Joseph Asai, who leads the team in sacks, going to be a free agent. They need everything on defense pretty much other than top cornerback. They've got DJ Turner, who's a fantastic young player for Cincinnati. Other than that, sign me up for defense.
Yeah, DJ Turner's a heck of a player. The secondary needs some help, no question about that. There's a lot of mixed opinion on Ruben Bain Jr. Heck of a player at the collegiate level. But there are people that you talk to. We all have our friends in the NFL field. Now, you do as well. They say second round.
Mel, you're not wrong. Listen, I'll say this. December 10th versus January 10th or February 10th, it could look a lot different. You know, just some of the tape has been excellent this year. He's a tough guy to peg. He is. I'll put him and Peter Woods on that list of guys that harder to peg compared to where we thought they were a month or two ago. I have found skeptics. I have found passionate believers about Ruben Bain. I'll just say this, Mel, to your point. If he does go, you're talking like if you just put his measurables together, Mel, and again, it's not just measurables, but that's part of the equation. Not a lot of guys going in the first round who have a body type similar to Ruben Bain. Like it's like Kwity Paye from the Colts a few years back. Remember him, Mel, out of Michigan, was an unconventional body type. It's not often. So we'll see. I think he's a great player. Could I see him falling lower than this? Absolutely. He is going to be a very much discussed prospect as we get closer and closer to April.
Mel, give us the final word.
I'm still waiting for Jeremiah Love. We got to know where he has him go. For Granny, I've been waiting all day. I got
you want to know
3 spots there. Where does Jeremiah Love in mock? What's a 2.0 for you, Field? Where does Jeremiah Love, running back Notre Dame, finally come off the board here?
You want to cover your ears here for a second, Mel? You're not going to like it.
Oh,
Kansas City Chiefs.
I was just that was the team I said I was going to have a wow if they got them.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. They're at 14. I wrote down. Is that correct?
Yeah, 14. Right. Yeah.
14. Can you imagine this football team with Jeremiah Love sitting there at that spot? Now, I don't know if they'll pick 14 after all said and done. Maybe
of course. And he'll go higher than 14 when all's said and done. But right
I think
now,
he will. But did you imagine Kansas City landing a guy with that kind of skill set? Woo.
Can you protect the passer? because I think that's what that team needs more than anything else. Andy Reid doesn't like to run the ball anyway.
Yeah,
but I am intrigued by that. And so we will see. So again, these have been the top 10 picks in Fields mock draft 2.0. He did include a trade at number 1. Next week, we will go through the remainder of round 1 in a little quicker fashion, but I think these are fascinating. And again, I always think these exercises are super worthwhile because you get a sense of where it is the people in the know, like Field Yates and Mel Kiper, are projecting the players to be the very, very tippy top of this draft. And then we start working our way into the draft process, which really begins pretty soon as the college football playoff begins as well. Okay, with that said, Mel, we send you, again, our condolences, is a little too strong a word, but we send you our good vibes after the demise of your Irish and your Ravens, and we hope things will get better.
Irish will be back. Yep.
Field, I'm sure everyone on Twitter will agree completely with all of these picks, so we'll have zero issues with that whatsoever. A reminder that you can scan the QR code and catch up with any of the conversations that we have had all through this football season. You can like and subscribe to the podcast wherever it is you get your podcasts, and tune in every Wednesday on the NFL on ESPN YouTube channel and on ESPN2.
You promised.
I took the garbage out.
No, I'm talking about all the work we need to get done around here.
I know. We need a new roof and we need replacement windows.
How about a new bathroom and some overdue remodeling?
And how are we supposed to pay for all that?
My sister said she called Remodeling Loans and they were able to find her certified contractors.
That's great. But how'd she get the money to pay for all that?
Remodeling Loans offered 0 interest for 60 months. They even have payment plans with 0 down and 0 deposit.
Looks like we're getting a home makeover.
Great. Now, if I only knew someone to call for a husband makeover.
Really?
Remodeling Loans is the #1 leader in home improvement financing. Call 800-921-1403 today for a no credit check, no risk approval. Get approved today and we'll match you with the best contractors in your area. And remember, no deposit financing is now available. Call 800-921-1403. 800-921-1403.
The new home for ESPN Radio is ESPN Cleveland 1013. Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks. Take ESPN Cleveland 1013 with you wherever you go. Listen online at ESPNCleveland1013.com. Presented by Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. ESPN Cleveland 1013 has scored its very own app.
He shoots and scores.
With the ESPN app, you can listen live from anywhere. You'll get the links for the very latest sports news and information. Somebody made a huge trade? You'll know about it. Access to the latest scores and standings? You'll have it. Go to ESPNCleveland1013.com and download the brand new ESPN Cleveland 1013 app today at ESPNCleveland1013.com. ESPN Cleveland 1013 is powered by Duracell.
Hey, this is Alfonso, the general manager of Crown Cleveland, your local home for Jeep and Ram. I'm here to announce that we have revamped our express lane. We are fully staffed and ready to take care of all your quick lube and oil needs. Please Google Crown Cleveland and see our great service specials.
Don't miss the Paul Feinbaum Show, weekday afternoons from 2 until 5 on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Always topical, always entertaining. Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 1013, presented by Hardees.
Welcome to Mountain View Nissan Country, where automotive excellence is our top priority. At Mountain View Nissan, we take pride in offering you the finest selection of vehicles.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks. From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 1013, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 1013.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
There in the third quarter, Southern Miss leading Western Kentucky 13-6. Earlier at the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl, it was Louisville over Toledo 27-22. Tonight, it's the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl in Texas. Ohio University will battle UNLV. All of today's bowl games are on ESPN. Meanwhile, as Ole Miss gets ready for its college football playoff quarterfinal, ESPN's Trevor Madden says the absence of Lane Kiffin may serve as motivation.
I think it'll help because I think the players for Ole Miss want to do one of two things. They either want to stick it to Lane Kiffin by going deep into these playoffs and maybe winning the national championship, so you'll get your best out of those guys. And there's other guys that want Lane Kiffin to bring them with him to LSU.
Ole Miss plays Georgia on New Year's Day. To the NFL, where sources have told ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, San Francisco tight end George Kittle has a mid to low ankle sprain and not a high ankle sprain suffered in last night's win over Indianapolis. The Vikings will be without quarterback J.J. McCarthy for their Christmas game against the Lions. He has a hairline fracture on his right hand. The Jets have placed quarterback Justin Fields on injured reserve. He continues to deal with a knee injury. His season is finished. Browns coach Kevin Stefanski says quarterback Deshaun Watson will not be activated this season. This despite Watson returning to practice today. NBA, the marquee matchup tonight, a rematch of the NBA Cup semifinals, the Spurs and the Thunder. Spurs center Victor Wembanyama is expected to play. He was downgraded to questionable as he continues to return from a calf strain.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. We hope you're enjoying a long holiday week. We're back Monday with Kurt Warner to break down NFL Week 17. Plus, I'll preview the college football playoff quarterfinals. That and more on The Rich Eisen Show on Disney+, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
This is the best of the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio presented by Progressive Insurance. He's never appeared on this program, but that's about to end. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Available in theaters nationwide Friday, November 14th. We talked about it with Morgan Freeman last week. Now let's welcome in Woody Harrelson on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, Woody?
Hi, Rich. Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I think you hear this all the time, I'm sure. We met briefly, et cetera, et cetera. We met briefly at the Super Bowl in Atlanta. I think you were at that game, right? Between the Patriots and the Rams in Atlanta?
Yeah, I've only been to the one.
That's it?
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask you if you had a rooting interest in the National Football League at all. Or you just interested, hey, I'm in Atlanta, I can go to the Super Bowl, let's go.
Well, because at the time I was living in Lebanon, Ohio, I formed an attachment to the Bengals, but I mean, I don't watch it enough to, there's real fans out there, sure. So I can't.
Okay, so you were just in Atlanta, you can get to go to the Super Bowl, and you just said, screw it, I'll go to the Super Bowl. Let me just check it out, pretty much.
That's right, and I brought my daughter.
I thought I saw you sitting with Danny DeVito. That's how I saw you, like you and Danny were watching the game together. Am I wrong on that one?
That sounds entirely possible. I was with Will Smith too.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it was quite the scene for sure. Let's talk about your film here. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Did you think when you did the first one that this would be a franchise that's now in its third version? Woody?
Well, no, I don't think anybody could possibly imagine that kind of thing. We're just super fortunate, and the movies, fortunately, are very, very entertaining.
Well, I mean, for sure. And I'm wondering, like, have you formed any bonds, friendships of just seeing these folks again? That must have been fun for you, because it does look like you're having a blast shooting this movie, Woody.
I think I've done more projects with Jesse Eisenberg than anybody. I love Jesse. I love Dave Franco. Love Isla, Morgan Freeman, yeah. Fantastic. It's just like, I got to say, it's a great group of people. And luckily, my buddy Ruben Fleischer, who, I met originally when we did Zombieland, and, then he did Venom. And, we've worked on several things together. And I just feel so fortunate that he came on to do the third one because, you know, you can get lucky with the first one and maybe the second one, but then like by the third one, who knows if you're going to have a good movie. So I felt blessed to have him, and I think he made a wonderful film. Really very entertaining.
It's coming up again. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Back for you to enjoy in theaters nationwide next week on Friday, November 14th. Woody Harrelson here on The Rich Eisen Show. Woody, we with somebody like yourself with so many credits, TV and movies, we have a segment on this show called Celebrity True or False, where we ask you about certain things that are on the internet about how you got these movies or anything that happened on the set to see if they're true or false. I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind indulging us right here on the program. And we have some great production value for you as well. If you can roll it. Hit it, please.
Celebrity True or False.
You can't handle the truth.
All right, I guess that's a good one to start with. Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
That's exactly right. Is it true that he taught you how to smoke for a movie? Woody, after you met him?
That's very true.
Okay.
Yeah, for Rampart.
Okay, and you met him.
He was telling me all the times you would smoke and how to smoke, like how to do it, you know, like the way you hold it and everything. And I started, because I don't smoke anything legal, so I just started smoking joints, you know, as if they were cigarettes. Yeah. And so I got to where it looked more and more like I actually smoked, which my character did in Rampart.
So Jack,
Jack helped me a lot on that.
So I was about to say, like, what did he teach you about how to hold a cigarette, pretty much, or no?
How to hold it, and then particularly when you smoke, which felt like you smoke after everything, you know. I mean, well, you got to smoke after you eat. You got to, you know, like he had all these times that you would smoke, and you know, the way that you would hold it in your mouth if you were keeping it in your mouth. I don't know. He was very helpful.
And you met him on anger management, I imagine. Is that where you met Jack?
No. I met him many years before that. Okay. And had a lot of, you know, it was just from knowing him and, well, Adam Sandler as well, that they asked me to do that very fun cameo.
Woody Harrelson. All right, let's start with some other celebrity true or false. True or false, you landed the part of Woody on Cheers in part because the casting director loved how you blew your nose walking into the audition. Is that true?
Well, in fairness, it is true, Rich. I was, you know, Laurie Openden was the casting person at the time for NBC, and I came in very late in the process. In fact, they'd already kind of settled on someone, but they're just in case, you know, we'll see some stragglers. So I came in, and what had happened was I was away from this play, Biloxi Blues. I was doing this movie called Wildcats with Goldie Hawn, and so that put me in L.A. We mostly shot in Chicago, finished in L.A., so I'm in L.A. A friend mentions this show to me, a friend I'd gone to college with, Leo Jeter, and he says to me, hey, I just auditioned for this show, Cheers, and I think you should audition for it. The part's called Woody. And I'm like, well, and from Indiana, which is where we'd gone to college. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not really wanting to do television. Well, anyway, so I go in and I meet her, and they had just fired the two guys I was understudying. So I was going back to do Broadway, which was my dream. So see, the problem with auditions is you're just too scared and too desperate. You know, actors generally get like this. It's hard to circumvent. But anyway, in this case, I'm going to do Broadway. That's my dream. I don't care. If I get it, okay, great. If not, so I go in and audition, and of course I did pretty good. And Laurie Openden's like, can you come with me? And yeah, sure. You know, so I'm following her, and it seemed kind of labyrinthian, you know. We kind of seemed to be going through this door and down this hallway. And so I didn't know that we were walking into the room with all the creators of Cheers and, you know,
wow,
all the writers and everything. And so as we're walking through the door, my nose was kind of, and I just honked as I'm going in the room, and the whole place burst out laughing. It was the room with everybody, and Jimmy Burrows told me later, "You had the part right then."
Wow. Okay. Do you got a good George Wentz story then, Woody? You got a good one about him with Norm or anything like that? You hanging with him?
George Wentz?
Yeah. You got a good one?
Yeah, I do remember one time, speaking of memory, I was with, I thought we were done filming. This is the first time I realized that marijuana does not go well with acting. And I thought we were wrapped. I went upstairs, and me and G are smoking a joint, and then I hear over the intercom, "Woody, come down for your monologue in scene C," and I'm like, I go down, and what would have taken one time, easy.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Jimmy Burrows. "Woody, are you okay?" "Yeah, fine, Jim. Yeah, let's just do another." And so yeah, we had to do like probably 10 takes before I got it. It's because it turns into paranoia what normally might be euphoria.
Yes, sir. I got you. Woody Harrelson here on Celebrity True or False. All right. Oh, there you go. You got the part. There you go. See, we just saw it in person. Next up, on the set of White Men Can't Jump, true or false, you bragged about your basketball playing to one of the coaches on the set who challenged you to a game of one-on-one, and that coach turned out to be Bob Lanier. Is that true? Turned out to be Bob Lanier?
Well, he was one of the guys coaching us, but I don't remember if I've played one-on-one with him.
Well, I imagine you'd remember that pretty much.
Well, I probably did. I mean, any chance I got, I was constantly challenging people and trying to, but I can't imagine I did well.
Okay, so then let me ask you this one. Also on White Men Can't Jump, true or false, you bet Wesley Snipes you could dunk and had the rim lowered without Snipes knowing to win the bet. Is that true or false, Woody Harrelson?
That's partially true.
Okay.
The rim was already at 9.5 feet. The problem was even at 9.5.
Yes.
I couldn't stuff it. And then the lady who was doing the boom operator, she says to me, "Hey, why don't you stretch?" And Wes had gone to his trailer, right? And by the way, we had been betting small sums, yes, and I kept not being able to stuff it. And so he went to his trailer, and she says, "Stretch." And I started stretching. And then I picked up the ball, stuffed it first time. And I'm like, oh my God. He comes back, and he's still kind of smug in the certain knowledge that I have no chance to stuff it. And so we bet a little bit, and I miss. And then I'm like, you know what? I know I can do this. I'll bet you $1,000. And he goes, "Oh yeah," and shakes my hand. And then I went up, boom, stuffed it. And to my dying days, I will remember the look on his face.
This is the best of the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Radio.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Your new home for 24-hour sports coverage. ESPN Cleveland 101.3. From the Alon Planning Partners Weather Center, here's your forecast on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Visit them online at alonplanning.com or give them a call at 423-315-1441.
Near record highs in the low to mid 70s with mostly cloudy skies Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Friday, and Saturday. We're going to have a high of 70 on Sunday with rain moving in Sunday evening into Sunday night. Behind that rain, much colder air moves in next week. Monday, we'll have a low of 29 and a high of only 39. Download the Local 3 weather app, free for iPhone and Android. I'm Chief Meteorologist David Carnes for the Local 3 Storm Alert Team.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks. Take ESPN Cleveland 1013 with you wherever you go. Listen online at ESPNCleveland1013.com. Presented by the Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics.
Did you know that Tennessee does not yet have a specialty license plate for childhood cancer awareness? You can help us change that. We need 1,000 Tennesseans to pre-order the Childhood Cancer Awareness license plate. My name is Caroline, and I'm a childhood cancer survivor. I can tell you it would mean a lot to all the kids currently battling to see these gold ribbon tags on cars all over our state. Please help us increase awareness for childhood cancer by reserving your license tag today at childhoodcancertntag.com.
ESPN Cleveland 1013 is powered by Duracell.
Hey, this is Alfonso, the general manager of Crown Cleveland, your local home for Jeep and Ram. I'm here to announce that we have revamped our express lane. We are fully staffed and ready to take care of all your quick lube and oil needs. Please Google Crown Cleveland and see our great service specials.
Your game week begins here with the players, the coaches, the experts. Big Orange talk and nothing but. This is Mike Keith, ready with your pregame scouting report from the people in the know. We break down every aspect, so you're ready for kickoff. Your pregame meeting happens here. Grab a chair, and let's talk some Big Orange football.
Listen to the Mike Keith Show, Thursdays at 3 p.m. on ESPN Cleveland 1013.
Welcome to Mountain View Nissan Country, where automotive excellence is our top priority. At Mountain View Nissan, we take pride in offering you the finest selection of vehicles.
Get your New Year's Eve fireworks at Davenport Fireworks, where everything is half price. Everything. Davenport Fireworks, located on Dalton Pike at the state line. Everything is half price. Happy New Year from Davenport Fireworks.
Eve and Brett Gelman, who plays Maury Bauman, is here. You know, I looked it up because it's just, in this day and age, it's not 5 years for each season. This debuted in the middle of the summer of 2016. This has been around for almost a decade,
no, it's
man.
10 years of, or 8 years of my life.
Right.
10 years of mostly everybody else's.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's crazy.
Did you, like, how was this presented to you? Just, hey, there's a script, there's a character, there's a role. Like, what was it like when Stranger Things first wound up on your doorstep?
I remember I was shooting a film, Lemon, that I co-wrote with Janixa Bravo, and then that I starred in, and we were filming that, and then Martin Starr, who was he was like, you gotta check out. I remember seeing like billboards. I'm like, what's that? And then Martin Starr was like, there's this show, Stranger Things. It's on Netflix. It's amazing. It's insane. It's incredible. And then I watched it that weekend and I binged it. I was like, it blew my mind. And I called my agent.